But then you see, you know that by hey, I'm doing this. It's true. So, I mean, you don't say 7 days.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the 2025 SBD Australia Cup presented by City Strength. My name is Alex Hayes and I'll be the host of the pre-game show for today's competition and also one of your commentators throughout the event. The countdown is on. We are 15 minutes away from the first squat of the day and I'll be running through some of the narratives for you guys to look out for. Let's introduce our 21 phenomenal athletes competing today. The women's competitors: Ainsley Jones, Sophie Dobson, Abby Wallace, Brittany Romas, Isabella von Weissenberg, Aislinn Otway, Hannah Altman, Bethany Parker, and Nicola Orr. The men's roster: Leonardo Sukitra, Kana Chambara, Kevin Lai, Yanni Muselis, Josh Lanivia, Sam Butterworth, Michael Rand, and Tony Reinmuth. Before we get into some of the narratives and I highlight some of the battles happening today, I want to outline what SBD Australia Cup is, because this isn't just a normal powerlifting comp. This one is different. We've got over 20 of Australia's best athletes competing at one time on the same platform in the same session. And they're not just competing against the lifters in their weight classes, they're competing against everyone from their gender at the same time, because they're competing relative to the Australian record in their weight class. So each lifter's score will be their total divided by the Australian record in their weight class to give them a number. I'll run through a couple of examples. So a lifter competing in the 66 kilo class, the Australian record is 660 kilos. If they were to achieve a total of 680 kilos, their score would be 103.03 points. Now, if a lifter in the 93 kilo class were to beat this lifter, they would need to achieve a total of 835 kilos, given the total record is 810. The other thing that makes SBD Australia Cup exciting and different is that records can be broken today. This is the only chance that Australian lifters get to break Australian records outside of nationals and international competition. Lifters will also be incentivized with prize money for each record they break. If there are two lifters who go back and forth on the same record, the prize money goes to the lifter who finishes with the record at the end of the session. Now, the cool thing about SBD Australia Cup and meets like it is that because we are competing relative to the record in our class, the lifters are incentivized to attack the quote-unquote weaker records. Obviously, they're Australian records, they're not weak, but relatively speaking, they are compared to other classes. That's why we won't see anyone in some classes today, because those records have been pushed so high. One of the most exciting battles to look out for today is in the women's 76 kilo class. The women we have competing against one another in the 76 kilo class are the returning champ Brittany Romas, who last year won SBD Cup competing in the 69 kilo class. She's now set the bar so high for herself that she has to move up into the 76 class to try and repeat as champion. We have Hannah Altman, who's the bench press record holder in the 76 kilo class. We have Aislinn Otway, who's the 69 kilo national champion from this year, who's moving up to the 76 class to attack that weaker record. And finally, we have Isabella von Weissenberg, who is a legend in the IPF, who is coming down from the 84 kilo class where she competed last year and is looking to see how she goes in the 76 class. I'm keen to see how this one plays out, and I can see it juggling back and forth a few of these women to figure out who ends up with that record. Moving on to the bench press in the 76 women, the current record holder Hannah Altman will have her work cut out for, as last year's champ Brittany Romas will be biting at her heels trying to take it off her. The deadlift in the 76 kilo class is currently set at 210 kilos. Similar with the squat, I can see this record juggling back and forth between a few of these women throughout the meet, so we'll have to keep a close eye on who ends up with it. As with all the competitors today, it's going to be imperative for these women in the 76 class to make sure they make their attempts and build the biggest total possible, because sometimes chasing the record could actually have you fall short on the total, and the total is what you need to win the overall. The battle of the 105 kilo men tonight is going to be one to look out for. We have two competitors. We've got Sam Forsberg and Yanni Muselis. Now, while both of their best totals are a little bit below the Australian record total of 863, both of these men have been making tremendous progress, and their totals that they've put up to date are not reflective of their true strength. Let's first have a look at Yanni. Now, he recently totaled 850 at a local comp here in Sydney. And he missed 3 attempts on that day. So a clean day from Yanni with 8 or 9 made lifts could see him exceed that 863 and finish the day with the total record in his name. Similarly, with Sam Forsberg, his best total is not quite reflective of what his true strength capabilities are. So I'll be looking for Sam to put up a similar squat to what he's done in the past, capitalize on his recent bench press improvement, and then pick Yanni off at the end with his monster deadlift. As I mentioned, the total record in the 105 class is 863 kilos. Now, as far as individual lift goes, the squat record is 323, which Yanni has already exceeded in the local meet, so he'll be looking to put quite a few kilos on that record. The deadlift record in this class will be Sam's for the taking if he can make 3 attempts. So currently is 357.5. He's gonna need all of that to have a crack at breaking that total record. So we'll see how Sam goes, what the attempt is, and whether he decides to go for the record or whether he decides to go for the overall. 3 of our women competing today in the lightweight classes have decided to drop down a weight class to be more competitive at SBD Australia Cup. They are Ainsley Jones, who previously competes as a 52 kilo lifter, is dropping down to the 47 kilo class to have a shot at trying to make it to Worlds and seeing if she can break a couple of records along the way. The one that she will be targeting, in my opinion, is the squat record. Currently at 145 kilos, Ainsley's best in competition is actually 150 kilos. So if the cut hasn't affected her too much, I can see her having a stab at that squat record. Next up is Sophie Dobson, from Tasmania, still a really new lifter to powerlifting, and actually competed earlier this year in the 63 kilo class, and then in the 57 kilo class in the middle of the year, and now the 52 kilo class. So 3 competitions this year for Sophie, 3 different weight classes. Her most recent total of 420 kilos is 2 kilos above Liz Craven's 52 kilo total record. Now, if she can hold on to the majority of her strength, she's gonna have a crack at that record and put her name in the history books. She was already able to add to her total when dropping down from 63 to 57. So we'll see if she can do that again, going from 57 down to 52. And finally, Abby Wallace, one of the best lifters in Australia already, boasting a 502.5 kilo total at 63, has decided to go down to the 57 kilo class to make her more competitive worldwide and make her the overwhelming favorite for today's competition. The total record in the 57 kilo class is actually 70 kilos below her best total. So if she can hold on to her strength, she's gonna be really, really hard to beat. The 120 men's battle is gonna be awesome to watch today. We have 2-time 120 champion Josh Lanivia headlining this battle as the current record holder at 886. Biting at his heels is Sam Butterworth, who is a 1-time national champion in the 120 class and broke Josh's record at last year's SBD Cup. And finally, Michael Rand, who's previously a 105 kilo lifter, has decided to move up to the 120 class, a move that I think is going to be great for his development long term. Michael's best total is 835.5 kilos, quite a bit away from that 886 that I mentioned earlier. But as we know, moving up a weight class often sees nice big spurts in progress. As I mentioned earlier, Josh Lanivia is the total record holder with that 886, but he's also the record holder for the squat at 325.5 and the bench press at 225. But where he does lack is that his deadlift is not quite as heavy as Michael or Sam. So if we are to see either of these two make up for that gap somewhere, it is going to come in the deadlift. Sam is the deadlift record holder with 363 kilos. At Nationals this year, he attempted over 370 in order to try and beat Josh, which was unsuccessful. But we will see him load whatever it takes to win, and I'm looking forward to seeing how many reds we can fit on that barbell. Now, Kevin usually competes as an 83, but he actually was called up last minute, only 10 days ago, to compete in this competition. So he hasn't quite been able to make the cut back down to 83 as per usual, so he's gonna give a crack in the 93 class. Now, his training has been going amazingly, recently achieving a training total of 795, with a bit of room in the tank. As the current record is set at 810, I think we'll see Kevin get pretty close or above this record and solidify himself as maybe a 2 weight class champ. The 84 kilo class in the women has 2 really exciting lifters battling it out. These two did battle in the 2024 National Series, with Bethany Parker taking the win over Nicola Orr. Since then, Nicola and Beth have both made tons of progress and will be looking to hunt down Yani Zhao's 557.5 kilo total record. This one will be quite an interesting battle because both of these women have slightly different strengths earlier in the meet, but both massive deadlifts. So Nicola has the advantage in the squat over Beth, but Beth has the advantage back and probably more in the bench press. So it will be very key for both of these women to make lifts early in the meet and make sure that they're in striking distance of that deadlift in order to achieve a total big enough to win the competition. Nicola is the current deadlift record holder with 219, but Bethany last year attempted 225 here at SBD Cup to try and take the total record. So we'll definitely see something loaded 220 plus today. So the final three lifters on the men's side aren't competing against anyone. They're all actually running their own races, try and see how much they can put on those total records. So first up we have Leonardo Sakitra in the 74 kilo men's class. So Leo does currently hold the 74 kilo total record with 748 kilos. He actually doesn't hold any of the individual lift records, which shows how balanced he is as a lifter. I do think he's within striking distance of the squat, deadlift, and exceeding that total as far as he can push it, and he's certainly one to watch for the overall today. Next up, we have City Strength HQ's very own Kana Chambara, the current 83 kilo total record holder with 792.5 kilos. Just like Leo, he doesn't hold any of the individual records either, but he's very close to a few of them. So we will see Kana aim to pace himself throughout the meet, make his attempts, and try to push that total as far as he can. Just like Leo, he's a chance to push for that overall podium, but it will mean he needs to make lifts along the way. Last but not least, Tony Reimeth competing in the men's 120 plus kilo class. The total record is not his, it's Jackson Stubberfield's, but that's only because Tony has not had the opportunity yet to break it within the APA. He recently competed in June and he totaled 922.5, which is actually 12.5 kilos above that record already. Tony is the biggest squatter in Australian history, squatting 405 kilos in knee slips. If he can replicate this, add to his bench and add to his deadlift a little bit, we're gonna see someone who's really, really hard to beat for that overall position. Before we get to the lifting, which is coming very, very soon, I want to give my picks for who I think will stand on top of the podium today. On the women's side, I think Abby Wallace at 57 kilos is going to be really, really hard to beat. And on the men's side, I think Tony Reimeth will take out the win in the 120 plus. We hope you're looking forward to an action-packed afternoon of powerlifting. Records will fall, history will be made, and we'll be right there with you. Stay tuned for the live event.
Class up, and so she's lost almost 10% of her body weight to get here.
Ainsley lifting the 47 kilo category.
Next up, we have Ainsley Jones also opting to go down a weight class to the 47 kilo class. This is her first time lifting in the 47s, weighed in exactly at 47.0, opening with 127.5, same as Sophie.
I think she may have just beaten the rack command there.
She's jumped she's jumped the squat command there.
Ignorance is bliss, they say. She was very blissful walking off the platform. But that's going to be a no lift.
Obviously a very easy squat there for Ainsley, despite beating those calls from the referees.
For a number of years, you'll know this lifter because they've been lifting since 2015. And keep in mind, she's only 25. It's 160, 26, I didn't think so, 25. We have 165 kilos, and Bar is loaded for Bethany Parker. Put your hands together, come on.
Here comes Beth Parker, two-time national champion in 84 kilo class, opening up her day with 165. We expect to see big jumps from Beth across the board. Usually opens very light.
That looked like a very good opening squat to me. Very fast, very smooth.
Lifter, and we're already past 160 kilos.
Definitely expect to see a nice big jump from Beth there going into the second attempt.
The very first Australian record of the day. It hasn't even been 4 minutes. And we have the very first Australian record. It's Abby Wallace. The current record.
And up next, Abby Wallace, the hot favourite coming into this competition. Her opening total is already 8% over the Australian record total. And the reason for that is she's going down to the 57 kilo class. One of the best lifters in Australia as a 63. She's gone down to 57 to attack that weaker record, opening with 172.5, which is already 6.5 kilos above the current record. So we'll see how Abby looks with her first attempt as a 57 kilo lifter.
I would say that is a pretty good opening squat there for Abby. And 3 white lights, that is a good lift for Abby.
Australian record on her opening attempt. Abby is clearly the favourite in the women's.
So there's the first record for the day. Very comfortable, obviously an opening attempt.
With 180. Following Brit will be Nicola Orr, Hannah Altman, Ashlyn
Up next we
Oxley,
have
Isabella
reigning
Eisenberg.
SBD Cup champion, Brittany Romas. She won last year
Brittany Romas,
as a 69 kilo
Australian
lifter,
champion.
and she's
Australian
gone up to the
representative
76
at
class,
International
again to
Powerlifting
attack that
Federation
weaker
World
record.
Championships, 2 years in a row.
And she's definitely going to be a contender for that second place behind Abby.
Opening up proceedings here with 180 kilos.
So Brittany, one of 3 lifters that we have in the 76 kilo class here today. Britt, Iceland, and Hannah. And I think they could all take a crack at the squat record here today. The squat record at 193.5.
Yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on what kind of jumps that they each take across the squat session this afternoon, sorry. Brittany, a seasoned competitor.
It's a good lift there, maybe a little bit slower than we would normally expect to see an opener, but a good lift, and she is on the board.
So Brittany is a very slow lifter in general, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a 10 kilo jump from that and to move exactly the same. Next up, Nicola Orr from Tasmania, 2-time silver medalist in the 84 kilo class.
Joining us from the island down south. This is 185 kilos in the opening round.
185 for Nicola.
Very strong opening lift. And it is 3 white lights.
3 white lights, that is a good lift for Nicola.
Our lights here indicate the decision.
Just
of our
7.5
referees.
kilos off her best squat with that opener. So we will see a PB today. I don't know if we'll quite see the squat record for Nicola, but we should see her build towards her total to get her close to that total record. Up next, Hannah Altman, also competing in the 76 kilo class alongside Brittany and Aislinn, who will be next.
She's also lifting the 76 kilo category.
So I believe that this is already a PB squat for her, her previous best being 180 kilograms.
Yeah, so she did actually attempt this at Nationals in February and missed on depth. So we've seen her stand up with this weight, and her training has been looking great. I know for sure she's done a 190 kilo double, so this should be no issue.
Right, very measured, very tidy opening lift. And
Three white lights. That is a good lift.
What do you think about the depth on that one? To me, it looked a little borderline.
Yeah, I thought it was borderline as well. Like, you don't get points for going extra deep, obviously, but I would be, particularly as a coach, I would be wary that as it gets heavier, she might be inclined to cut it higher.
Watching the replay there on the stream, it actually looked better than my live view of it, so should be plenty of room left there. And Hannah has already gone +9 on that 185 to attempt the squat record on her second attempt. So Aislinn Otway, the final 76 kilo lifter, opening with 187.5. This is also a PB. I think 1 kilo above her current competition PB. First time competing in the 76 class for Aislinn.
Absolutely attacking.
Probably the fastest of those three squats that we saw just now.
Yeah, so definitely won't be surprised to see Aislinn attempt that squat record on her second. And the final lifter of the opening round of squats, Isabella von Weissenberg, 190 kilos. Now, we thought Izzy would be joining those other three girls in the 76 class. She's actually opted to weigh in at 84, which is what she did last year. She's definitely within range of that squat record of currently of 210.5. So we'll see how this first one moves for her. Izzy is a IPF powerlifting legend, been competing internationally for years and years for Sweden, now lives in Australia, and we're very lucky to have her here.
Yeah, I feel very privileged to be able to watch her lifting live. To me, that looked a little bit high, but of course we will wait to see what the referees say.
And it is 3 white lights. So last year, Izzy squatted 206 at 84, which was at the time the Australian record. It's now been bumped up to 210.5 by Jan Faisal. So we'll see what Izzy decides to do. There's definitely some room left in that. So going back to the top of the group, Sophie Dobson taking a 5 kilo jump to 132.5. Now her best squat is 140, but she was a 57 kilo lifter, so I imagine she's probably taken a little bit off the top end, dropping down a whole weight class. But she's still looking to be in a strong position for that total record. The current total record is 418, which is Liz Craven's record. And Sophie's just in her second year of competing, already nipping at the heels of potentially the greatest lifter Australia's ever seen. Now, I actually think that one looked better than her first.
Yeah, I thought so too as well. I wonder if that first squat just got a little bit of the new weight class, big meat, high pressure nerves out of the way.
Yeah, oftentimes, even if it's not a big meet, we'll see people have those jitters on the opening squat and they kind of settle into the meet after that one. So Ainsley missed her opener on 127.5, just got a bit trigger happy going down and beat the squat command, but she's decided to jump up 10 kilos. Now, Ainsley has squatted 150 as a 52 before. She did bomb in the same meet, so her total didn't count, but she has squatted 150 in competition. So this should be, again, no problem for Ainsley. That's a very nice looking squat for Ainsley.
That was a risky move, but it looks like it's paid off.
Yeah, that looked really nice. 3 white lights from the referee. And it is worth noting the squat record in the 47 kilo class is 145. So she would need to do 145 and a half to take that. I imagine that's what they will do. What would you do? What would you do, Rory?
If it was me, I would be gunning for the overall, and so I would be looking to get what I think is the best squat that's available on the day, even if it's not the record, and shoot to try and move up that podium rather than for the bonus cash for the record.
And they have decided to go for that record, so we will see another Australian record attempt in the next round from Ainsley. Up next, Beth Parker, 12.5 kilo jump to 177.5. Made easy work of her opener. And that one looked pretty much the same.
Yeah, that moved very well. It does look like she's a little bit off pace for her best squats. I believe she has squatted 197.5 today, and it doesn't look like she's going to be there today, but she is squatting quite well.
Yes, when she put up her best total of 530.5, I believe she squatted 187.5, so She's on pace for that. And if she can pick up extra kilos in the bench and the deadlift, she'll be gunning for that total record at the end. Abby Wallace, 10-kilo jump from her opener. This would put her 16.5 kilos above the previous 57-kilo squat record.
That is a good lift. Where would you go from there, Alex?
I think I would probably be looking for about 5 kilos on top of that.
Yeah, I would say that about the same. So I believe she has squatted 190.5 before, and I probably wouldn't be gunning for a PB here, but you know, another 5 kilos would be phenomenal still.
Yeah, it's worth noting. Obviously, Abby's dropped down to 57. This is her first meet at 57. So she hasn't probably had a lot of time to train near her competition weight. So probably hasn't had time to actually settle into the new weight class yet. So if she does stay down, I expect, you know, we'll see her pick back up towards that 190 area maybe next time she does. Next up, Brittany Romas. 190, 10-kilo jump. This will be an equal competition PB. And that one looked better than the first one.
It did. That moved very, very well.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, Brittany really can grind. So I wouldn't be surprised to see 200, but I do think that they'll be a little bit more conservative. Up next, Nicola Orr, 7.5-kilo jump, which would match her competition PB. She squatted this earlier this year in February at Open Nationals on the way to a silver medal in the 84-kilo class. A little sticky through the middle.
I would be a little bit worried about that sticking point and not being able to fight through that if it gets much heavier than that.
It did to me look like she kind of missed her spot a little bit. It looked like she was kind of off balance. So we'll see if she can rectify that for the third attempt. I would expect to see a small jump though. So Hannah Altman is up next. This is the squat record in the 76-kilo class, chipping Kelly Bastow's current record of 193.5. This would be a 14-kilo competition PB for Hannah. Really looking to open up her day strong. Now, we did mention on the opener, it was a little borderline on the depth. So we'll see if the extra 9 kilos changes that at all. We'll see what the refs say.
Two white lights, so that is a good lift. Just from the left-hand side, which is the same direction that we're looking from as well. Just from the left-hand side, a red card, which is a depth call there. I would be worried that as it gets heavier, she may be more inclined to avoid that difficult range of motion.
Yeah, definitely something to watch for on her third attempt. But that's the second Australian record of the day locked in. And up next, Izzy von Weissenberg, 200 kilos, 10-kilo jump. Puts her still within range of attempting the record on her third attempt. As I mentioned earlier, she squatted 206 here last year in this weight class. So we'll see how she looks on this second attempt. That one looked better than her opener to me.
Yeah, I thought so as well.
Nice, a better rhythm in and out of the hole, a little bit more sort of rebound out of the hole. But the first one was a little bit like stop-starty.
Yeah, and she was rewarded with 3 white lights for that, so that is a good score.
Do you think that Izzy is within range of 211, or would you go a little bit more conservative than that?
I wouldn't take a shot at 211, and of course it depends on what her personal priorities are today. Some people come here wanting to break a specific record, and if that's the case, absolutely go for it. But I'm always looking ahead for the total for the overall placing, so I would be looking at more like 205, maybe 207.5.
Yeah, I agree there. Up next, Aislinn Otway, 200.5. Now she has squatted this and above in training. She's looking to take Hannah's record, which was only set 2 minutes ago.
That was a well-executed score. It was confident, it was deep, and it is 3 white lights.
That is a good squat.
Record.
So, as I just mentioned, Aislinn has just taken Hannah's record from a couple of minutes ago, and we will see what she goes for on the 3rd attempt. Brittany has loaded below that, and so has Hannah, so the record will be Aislinn's at the end of today. We'll see how much she can add to it.
And how much is the bonus for breaking a record today?
So it's $150 for the person who finishes with each record. So Hannah's just lost her $150. Aislinn's just taken it from her. I know they are good friends. There'll be some banter about that later, I'm sure. And to start the final round of squats, Sophie Dobson, 137.5, just 2.5 below her best as a 57. She is competing as a 52 today. She seems to have held on to most of her strength. She fights her way through it.
So 2 reds for that. And so that's a red card from both the left-hand side and the front. So that is a depth call. I have to say, I did think that was a little bit borderline as well.
Yeah, I did too. And unfortunately, Sophie will miss out on an important 5 kilos there. Had the strength for it. Did look a little bit shaky under it. And as we mentioned earlier, with regards to Hannah, as the load gets up a bit higher, sometimes those squats start to creep higher also. Here's Ainsley Jones, 47 kilo class, attempting an Australian record, 145.5 kilos. As I mentioned earlier, has squatted 150 in competition before. Looks comfy under it. She's fought through the middle. That is a fantastic effort. We'll see what the refs say.
3 white lights. That is a new Australian record.
And $150 richer is Ainsley Jones. It's also worth noting that the lifter whose record she just took is a bronze medalist at IPF Worlds. So that is no easy feat, that record that Ainsley has just achieved. Beth Parker up next, 7.5 kilo jump to 185. This looks to be well within her means today. She seems to be pacing herself really well.
Go, Beth.
It's very deep. It's very smooth. Honestly looked exactly the same as her first 2 attempts.
It does. I'm really struggling to figure out how much more I think she had there today, just because every lift just looks the same. But saving some gas for later in the day, making lifts is probably a good strategy today.
Absolutely. And as we mentioned earlier, Beth really excels in the bench press and the deadlift. So I guess she's saving her energy in the tank for her 2 strongest lifts later. Abby Wallace, 4.5 kilo jump to 187.0. This will extend her own record and be 21 kilos above what the record was 30 minutes ago. Really incredible start for the day for Abby. As we expected to be the heavy favourite coming into today, and she hasn't disappointed so far.
This is over 20 kilos clear of the previous Australian record.
She's done a fantastic job fighting through the middle there.
2 white lights, that is a new Australian record. So just 1 red card from the far side there for depth, but you only need 2 white lights, so that is a record.
That's it. They often say 3 white lights is a waste of energy. What do you think about that, Rory?
I don't know about that. We don't have a jury here today, but it does mean that you're not at risk of losing that to a slightly different perspective.
Next up, Nicola Orr, 5 kilo jump. Second attempt, I thought was a little bit of a misgroove. It was very hard, but she's obviously more confident to go +5 rather than take the minimum increment of 2.5.
She is often a very conservative lifter. Like, she does often take smaller jumps, so I would say this means she's probably quite confident here.
But she's done very, very well. Much better groove and rhythm through that one than the second attempt.
3 white lights, that's a good lift.
Great job from Nicola and her coach to trust one another and take the slightly bigger jump and really maximize kilos on the squat. So that's a 5 kilo competition PB for Nicola. Brittany Romas, 197.5. Now, I really love this decision because it's quite easy to get tantalized into attempting the big round 200 kilos, but Brittany knows her limits, and she does a fantastic job picking up kilos throughout the day. It does take some humility to not attempt the big round, a milestone number sometimes. So we'll see how Brittany goes here with 197.5. Reigning SBD Cup champion. Beautiful squat.
I would say that was a very good attempt selection there.
Perfect call there. 3 white lights there from Brittany. And a 7.5 kilo competition PB. Adding 7.5 kilos to her total for today, and also puts her above the 100% on opening bench and deadlift. Hannah Altman to try and match Brittany with 197.5.
No more changes to openers. Thank you. We have 3 women left in this squat round before the
Just a 3.5 kilo jump for Hannah here.
30 seconds.
I do wonder if the original plan here was 198 or 198.5 or something, and then given that it's no longer a record, having to pick the next like round number instead.
So to me, that one looked a little bit higher than the second one. We'll see what the referees think.
Yeah, so unfortunately 3 reds for that, so 3 red cards again. So that is a depth call, which is unfortunate there.
So no lifts today actually missed on strength at all. So fantastic attempt selection from the lifters and coaches today so far. But not a huge deal for Hannah missing that one, only a 3.5 kilo jump. So it doesn't take her out of contention by any means.
Sort of about 0.5% on the total.
And Aislinn Otway adding another 5 kilos to her own Australian record, which she set 8 or 9 minutes ago. And this would put her pretty much on par with Brittany as far as forecasted total after opening bench and deadlift. An important 5 kilos here for Aislinn. She has done a great job getting through the middle there. Looked deep enough to me.
3 white lights, that is a good lift, and 12 kilograms added to the squat record there today. Worth pointing out that she's relatively light as well for the 76 kilo class, coming in at under 74.
This is actually her first meet as a 76. So first meet as a 76 and adding nearly 20 kilos to her own competition squat. I think she might have a new weight class.
As a coach, I would be looking at that and saying, yeah, I think this is your new home.
So we pondered whether Izzy would attempt the 211 to chip Yan Fei Zhao's current squat record of 210.5. She has decided to take that slightly bigger jump, 11 kilo jump. A bit of a risk. We'll see if it can pay off for her. She's obviously the most experienced lifter here today.
I think it's fair to say that Izzy will usually take the risk, and I think we'll see this towards the end of deadlifts as well. She will almost certainly pull to win or pull to the position.
And she's done such a great job getting through the middle there. We'll see if it's deep enough. Oh, and unfortunately, it's 2 reds in the middle and the left-hand side, so that will not count. But that was a really fun squat session from the girls there. We had Australian record in the 47 class, we had an Australian record in the 57 class, and in the 76 kilo class. And here come the men. First up, Leonardo Suchitra, 74 kilo, reigning national champion, I think 4-time national champion, multiple-time world's competitor, one of the most decorated lifters we have on the platform today. And I like to consider Leo to be a surgeon-like executor, the way he competes. Sorry, JP's just corrected me. He's a 5-time Australian champion.
Am I right in saying that this is his first meet with his new coach?
I believe his second meet with his new coach. I believe he did Worlds with Joe as well.
30 seconds.
So part of what I'm talking about with Leo being a surgeon-like lifter is that he really uses up all of his time, make sure that he gets everything dialed in.
That was
very,
beautiful.
yeah, very nice looking opener. Plenty of room in the tank there. So Leo's best is 280, which does seem like a long way away, but maybe he could get there. The Australian record is 283. So if he is near his best tonight, we may see that record be toppled.
So for reference, at Worlds, he opened his squat at 245 and then took 260 as his second attempt. So if we're looking for a similar jump here, we'll be looking at a 262 second, and that's exactly what's just come in.
Rory Rainman. Up next, Kevin Lai, competing in the 93 kilo class today. He is this year's 83 kilo bronze medalist from Nationals. Has weighed in at 91.9, so healthy off-season, I think, for Kevin. He's a new dad, so I know that when I became a new dad, I sort of took advantage of it.
And Kevin only signed up for this meet 10 days ago, is that right?
Yeah, last Wednesday he confirmed he was in, filling in for a couple of the men who got injured in their preps. Kevin has looked really strong in training. That is a nice looking 270.
So Kevin's best squat in competition is 277.5. Based on how that moved, I would say that he's in for a PB squat today.
Yes, I would say so. Next up, Kana Chambara, lifting in his home gyms from City Strength HQ. 83 kilo national champion from 2024 and silver medalist from 2025. He is the holder of the total record at 792.5. He does not hold any of the individual records. Very balanced lifter across the board. Does have the potential, if he's having a strong day, to attack each of the 3 records. But we'll see what's more important to him today, whether it's the records individually or the total.
Two red lights there for Kana, red from the front and from the far side. From where I'm sitting, I thought that looked good, but that is also the side that did get the white light.
Kana's never missed a squat that I've seen on depth, so that would be a new thing for him. We'll see what they decide to do. I imagine they will go up anyway, given how easy that moved. Next up, Michael Rand, another lifter who's moving up weight classes. This is his first meet as a 120. Previously competed as a 105 for 6 or 7 years. 3-time Australian champion as a 105.
Weighing in today at a very svelte 112.
Yeah, lots of room to continue filling out the 120, but I know he is committed to this class for the long term. It's not just a one-off today. Best competition squat of 305 is someone who does take big jumps. Very nice and easy opener there for Michael.
That would give me a lot of confidence. Oh, two white lights there. Far side, just the right-hand side, a red card again. So that is a depth call there.
So a couple of these boys just cutting their squats a little high. So Michael will have to be a little bit more careful on the second attempt. Often something that we see is when a lifter gets one red light, the other referee who didn't give the red gets some sort of subconscious bias and then watches a little bit closer on the next one. So lifters have to make sure that they are very careful moving into their second attempts. And Kana has decided to go up. He's taken a 20-kilo jump, which I imagine what their plan would have been, to 290. So not phased at all by that early miss on depth. Sam Butterworth now, 2-time 120-kilo national champion, multiple-time world's competitor. Opening up his day with 285. Nice opener there for Sam.
3 white lights, that is a good lift for Sam.
And next up, 2-time Aussie champion, Josh Lanivia, 120-kilo lifter. He is also the current record holder in the squat with 325.5. This is his third meet this year. He did nationals, he did worlds, he's backing it up for SBD Cup. Another guy who takes really big jumps between attempts, Josh. So do expect this to move nice and easy.
I do think we see that a little bit more with these heavier weight classes. You know, if he took say a 10-kilo jump, that's at 300 odd kilos, that's only about a 3% jump. And the fatigue builds up really, really quickly. So he's probably opening relatively light, saving gas, making sure that he has room to go right up into that 320 plus range for his third.
And on that same point, it does make these lifts extra important to make, because if you miss and you're leaving yourself on a second attempt, that is a 15 or 20 kilo jump, do almost put yourself out of contention with a miss.
That's right. It's almost better to take a lift that's a little bit more conservative that you're definitely going to get than risk 20 or 30 kilos on one lift. And 3 white lights, that is a good lift there for Josh.
Yeah, nice and easy from Josh. Looks like he usually does. So I do expect to see him have a crack at that squat record on his third attempt, but we'll see how this second goes. Next up, Yanni Muselis, 302.5. 22.5 below his best. His best is actually above the national record. It's 2 kilos above the national record, which is currently 323. He did break the national record last year at SBD Cup with 322.5, which was then beaten at Junior Nationals this year by Anthony Hill. And he's back today to get his records back. Now, he will need to maximize his day on the squat, as the squat is his best of the 3 lifts. So he will really need to maximize his kilos in order to put up enough to chip that total at the end of today.
Very tidy squat there for Yanni.
Yeah, lots of gas in that one, lots of room. As I mentioned earlier, his best is 325, so we do expect to see, in that range on his third attempt. So up next, the strongest man in Australia, Tony Reinmuth. He has squatted 405 kilos this year, in June this year. I was actually commentating that session as well.
How was that to watch live?
It was unbelievable. The atmosphere in the room. You don't see stuff like that very often. In fact, we've never seen it before. It was actually the biggest sleeved squat in Australian history, tested or untested.
So I'm going to ask you now, and I want to hear after the squat. Do you think we're going to see a 400 kilogram squat here today?
I absolutely do. So he opened with 360 on that day. He went 360 to 385 to 405. So opening 5 kilos more than what he opened with at that meet. He's definitely one of the favorites on the overall as well. So it makes it extra important, as we mentioned earlier, with these big boys taking bigger jumps for him to make his attempts.
Holy smokes, that was fast.
And that is a beautiful Tony Rymouth looking squat, 365. And it's 3 white lights. And that is actually an Australian record, 12.5 kilos above the current standard.
So you think we're going to see 390 for his second attempt? Something
Yeah,
like
I would say somewhere around 385 to 390. So up next, we have Leonardo Suchitra taking a 15 kilo jump.
Leo's currently the Australian record holder of the total. 5-time Australian champ, represented Australia at the World Championships 4 times.
So 262.5 for Leo.
Very experienced. Bar is loaded for Leo Suchitra.
Now, when he achieved the Aussie record total, his squat was 275. So it'll have to be sort of near that range to essentially break his own record today on the total.
So based on the way that he is pacing, I'm sort of expecting him, assuming that this moves well, I'm sort of expecting him to be loading about a 270, 272 for his third attempt. So I think he's probably approximately on track for that.
Yeah. Yeah, he did have a missed deadlift on that day, so perhaps he's sort of going to pick up the extra kilos on the deadlift and play it a little bit safer through the first 6.
I think that was probably a little bit harder than he planned it to be. I'm not sure where I would go from there.
Yeah, I think probably 5 kilos. I don't know if 2.5 is even worth coming out for.
No, I would almost be tempted to not come out for a third at all. Like the day is sort of won and lost during the deadlifts, and if he gasses himself or even hurts himself right now on gambling for an extra 5 kilos on squats, it may take away from the rest of the day.
Unless he or his coach thinks that he's misgrooved that and it was hard for that kind of a reason rather than a strength reason. Perhaps there is more and he's kind of just hit it wrong. But we'll see what they decide to do. No attempt has come in yet. Ainsley or Aislinn? Kevin Lai now, 17.5 kilo jump. This will give him a 10 kilo competition PB already on his second attempt. Similar to what we said about a couple of the girls in the 76 class, maybe this will be Kevin's new home.
Yeah, I've been watching his training, and I believe he squatted 295 in training, and given that he's moving up, he didn't cut into this or anything. Wow,
that was really, really nice. There is a lot of room left in that one.
He looks pretty happy about that.
I wouldn't be surprised to see 300 or 302.5 on this third attempt. That was great. Now, I think it'd be pretty hard for Kevin and his coach to say no to going up to 93 if he's able to exceed the total record. And he's certainly on pace for that today. So we'll see how the rest of his day goes, but a really, really great start for Kevin Lai. Up next, Kana Chambara did miss his opener on depth, 2-1. Him and his coach have decided to go up 20 kilos anyway. I think the right move.
I think so as well. It is always a risk. But like we said before, we're talking about a 20 kilogram swing here. Like if Kana doesn't get the 20 kilogram swing, he's probably out of contention anyway.
Yeah, if they stay at 270, then they have to risk an even bigger jump on the third attempt, which potentially risks even more. So that was deeper, I thought. So 2 white lights there. And that is 10 kilos below his best squat, which is the day where he did the Australian record total of 792.5. On that day, he only missed one bench press attempt, so I probably expect to see 300 or 302.5 here for Khan's third squat. Just pace himself for the rest of the day. He does look quite shaky under the bar today.
I thought he looked shaky as well.
Up next, Michael Rand, 17.5 kilo jump.
If I'm not mistaken, Randy's competed upwards of 30 events.
7.5 below his best.
Knows how to pick it, knows how to
First comp in the 120s.
He lifted last year at the SBD Cup one also.
Now we can see just how heavy some of these squats are with how hard they are to walk out. And that's a nice looking squat from Michael Rand. Those of you who haven't seen Michael compete before, he can really grind through a squat. I do think there's quite a lot left in the tank. 3 white lights there.
Yeah, I would say on that squat, the walkout was probably almost harder than the squat itself.
He scored 285 in the first round. Bar is loaded.
So 15 kilo jump, Sam Butterworth. Now Sam is the biggest deadlifter in Australian history. He's on 363 as a 120. His best competition squat is 315, which he did this year at Nationals.
Represented Australia at the World Championships 2023. This is 300 kilos.
It's a nice looking squat from Sam. What would you be looking at there for the third, Rory?
So he has squatted 315 in comp before. I would be really tempted to actually take a bigger jump there. I would almost be consider taking 317. I suspect they won't. I suspect they'll just take 315, match the PB, and build the total. But I would be really tempted to try to squeeze out a few extra kilos given how well that moved.
Yeah, it did look very smooth and very comfortable. So we'll see what they do. I do think they'll probably attempt 315, given they took 15 kilos from 1 to 2. Makes sense to do the same again from 2 to 3. Up next, Josh Lanivia. 17.5 kilo jump, 315. It's just 13 below his own national record squat of 325.5.
Another very composed lifter. He does have the Australian record in squat, bench, and total. Seconds.
Let's go.
Using most of his clock here. Lots of room left in that. I probably expect to see 326 loaded.
Yeah, that's probably what I would expect to see. Oh, sorry, 2 white lights there. Just a depth call from the far side again. So his left, audience's right-hand side. I agree, though. I think 326 is probably the number there.
Yanni Marcellus up next with 320. So at his last competition, his second attempt was 325. He then missed 340. So I do like them kind of scaling back a little bit to ensure they can take a reasonably sized jump into the third attempt and not kind of gas out after 2. But I'm sure we will see an attempt for that record on the third attempt.
So there are stakes here today. Like the difference between coming, first and second in this meet is several $100s of prize money. And so even taking a slightly smaller jump there, a slightly more conservative jump, feeling like he's got maybe something a little bit left, but actually getting the attempt is probably a wise decision, particularly so early in the day.
We'll see how this one looks from Yanni. 320. There's definitely some room in that. I probably expect to see about 10.
Yeah, I would say about 10 as well.
And Josh Lanivia has put in 326, so we will see another record attempt in this second round. We'll see what Yanni does.
JP.
7 reds aside. Yeah, thank you. 7, 370. Yeah, that's the one.
JP. Oh, wait, hang on.
It's 7 reds aside. It's 390 kilos. He already
So now we have Tony Reinmuth, 390.
365.
So the opener at 365 was absolute lightning. Taking a 25 kilo jump, you know, pretty a normal sized jump for a super heavyweight. 7 red plates on the bar. Tony walks out, he's getting the crowd fired up. It's a big band squatting a big bar. Wow. Tony Ryan with 390 kilos. What do you think about that, Rory?
That was a very impressive squat. That was a fast, he positioned it well. I'm very excited to see him squat 405, 410 on his third attempt there.
Yeah, I expect to see somewhere around 405 to 410, yeah. So we debated after Leo's second attempt whether he would come out for his third. He has decided to come out for a 5 kilo jump.
I actually can't see him though. So he's put a 5 kilo jump on the bar, but I can't see him getting ready.
I can't see him either. Perhaps his coach has put the 5 kilos in to give everyone the extra minute rest.
Yeah, so particularly in fast days like today, it's considered polite if you're going to skip an attempt to just let the 1 minute countdown. It gives the spotters and loaders a break. It gives all of your competitors an opportunity to rest a little bit more.
So it's confirmed now that he is not coming out for it. We do need to wait for the clock to tick all the way down to 0. So we have another 30 seconds before the bar will then be loaded to 297.5 for Kevin Lai. So unfortunately for Leo, that does leave him 12.5 kilos behind what he squatted when he achieved the 748 total record. I wouldn't say he's out of contention just yet, but certainly not a good start from Leo.
No, I'm picking that he was a little bit surprised by how that 262 moved, like particularly given how well his opener moved. This is, well within his wheelhouse. Looking ahead though, we have Kevin Lai about to come up for 297.5, which is 20 kilos on his best squat previously. And I will say it takes a lot of maturity to not load those milestone numbers. 300 is right there, and I'm sure that they had the discussion, hey, should we put 300 on the bar? But I do think 297 is a safer squat, and it's already a 20 kilo PB. At a certain point, you have to take the wins.
Yeah, and I think Kevin can get to that total record with 297.5 anyway. So the risk to reward ratio for the 300 may not be there, and obviously wasn't in their calculations. So here he comes, 20 kilo PB. This is still 17.5 below the current 93 kilo squat record, which was set last year at this event by Ewan Belgrove, which honestly might stand for a while.
30 seconds, Kev.
Using up a lot of his 60-second clock here, Kevin. I feel like a lot of these boys are doing each other a solid by just taking up extra clock.
Yeah. I also think there's something to be said, that last squat did move really well. This is still nearly 300 kilos, and having 300 kilos on your back, even if it moves like that, is hard.
And that was fast, but it did look very close to his limit. Kevin is the kind of lifter who moves quickly until he doesn't. So to me, that was a fantastic attempt selection there from their coach. I don't know who's coaching him today.
I know that his coach is Alfred Young from Reformance. I don't know who is handling him here today, though.
And here comes Kana Chambara, 15 kilo jump. This would give him a 5 kilo competition PB. It's only 3 kilos below the Australian record. I know it probably would have been quite tempting for them to take the 308.5 to get him that extra prize money. But I think this is a smarter call. He did look very shaky on his first 2 attempts, which is normal for Kana. He'll need to hit this one perfectly.
I am afraid
stood
that
up with
I
it.
think that was a little bit
Yeah,
high.
it looks like he cut the depth a little. He did cut the depth a little bit on that one. I think sometimes when you can be so shaky under the bar, you just don't have enough stability when you hit the bottom that you end up just cutting it a little bit short.
Yeah, that's also the most difficult range of motion for a lot of people. And so as it becomes difficult, people sort of subconsciously avoid a position that they're worried that they're not going to be able to get out of.
So Kana was one of the favourites going into today. Only 1 for 3 on squats, getting his second attempt at 290. He's definitely not out for the count, but he's going to need to be perfect on bench press and deadlift to get on the podium today. 10 kilo jump for Michael Rand, 307.5. This will be a 2.5 kilo competition PB.
Oh, no. Unfortunately, it looks like he may have just hurt himself there. Went straight into the hole and limped off the platform.
Looked to be a quad.
Shout out to our spotters and loaders, keeping our lifters safe.
And we hope Michael's okay. The show must continue. Sam Butterworth, 315, 15 kilo jump. This will equal his competition PB.
Based on how his second attempt moved, I would say that this is going to move pretty well.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Following Sam, we will see an Australian record in the 120 kilo category. Let's go, Sam. Don't go anywhere.
I think that's the perfect pick.
Okay, yeah, that I think was on the money.
Three white lights for Sam Butterworth. Equal competition PB. Now, I know he's made a lot of progress in his bench press of late, so he'll be looking to capitalise on that. And as we mentioned earlier, he's the biggest deadlifter in Australia. So with Michael potentially out of contention, we'll see if he comes back to bench press. I'm not sure. I'll give you an update when I get one. This is a very important lift for Josh Lanivia, because Sam Butterworth has been nipping at his heels the last two nationals and been within about 10 kilos of pulling for the win. Josh does need these how many? 13.5 kilos. So attempting to chip his own squat Australian record.
So if Josh breaks this record, it of course earns him a $150 bonus, which is nice. I think more importantly though, it moves him from currently 6th place on percentages to 4th place on forecast percentages, which puts him sort of within range of being able to bench and deadlift his way onto the podium.
Josh is someone who's known to make lifts and just build his day across the day. So you definitely can't write him off for the overall win. That is a beautiful looking third attempt squat for Josh Lanivia. And a new Australian record in the 120 kilo class. 326 kilos, Josh Lanivia.
Folks, we're on to the last squat of our session. Last squat of the session. Oh, Yanni, sorry, my mistake. I got so excited.
And next up we have Yanni Muselis, 105 kilo class, attempting a new Australian record. Now the current Australian record is 323. He said, you know what, I don't want to just chip it. I want to belt it. And he's put, what is that, 9.5 kilos on the current record. 332.5 kilos coming up for Yanni Muselis. As I mentioned earlier, he did squat 325 at his recent competition and had a miss at 340. So this is right in between those two.
Good 10 kilos, 9.5 kilos above. Bar is loaded for an Australian record.
And here he comes. Here comes Yanni Muselis.
We could be seeing records in the 105 men, the 120 men, and the 120 plus men.
Looks quite comfortable underneath it. I think they've picked the perfect number.
Yeah, he doesn't look super happy with that. Let's wait and see what the referees say. Yeah, so no lift there. That's 3 reds. I wonder if he was unhappy because he knew he'd cut it high. But that was three referees all agreed that was not to death.
It's unfortunate for Yanni there, missing out on 12.5 kilos. He is still in second place on forecasted total. Sorry, on current total.
He owns that record, that ball. It is 405 kilos.
Yanni is a squatter though. Like that really was his opportunity to make up ground.
His name is Tony Ryman.
Now Tony Rymeth up next. 16 kilo jump. I think this is within his means.
He's been competing for 11 years.
1 kilo above what he did in June. And this will be the biggest sleeve squat in Australian history. Tested, untested, all of it. This is the biggest one that you are watching right now. The biggest one that there has ever been.
So put your hands together. Bar is loaded for Tony.
Here comes Tony Rymeth. City Strength HQ is pumping. Goodness.
Wow.
That was better than his last two.
I have no idea how much more he could squat than that.
That was incredible. Tony Rymeth, what an absolute showing that was to finish off our squat session. Now, we are going to have a 10-minute break, but during the break, we will have Ainsley Jones and Tony Rymeth, 2 of our new Australian record holders in the squat, being interviewed by the one and only JP Kauki, our MC. So stay tuned for those interviews.
Tony and
Ainsley.
Ainsley.
Ainsley and Tony.
is, we're fine. Start again.
It didn't work.
Yeah, no, everything's dying.
Okay.
Ah.
So start again right now? Okay. Hello everyone, I'm here joined by Ainsley Jones who just squatted an Australian record. Ainsley, talk us through what happened there. So 2 weeks ago, you didn't make weight, you've joined us today with 2 weeks notice, you missed your opening squat and then you've come out and you've broken the Australian record. Roller coaster of emotions, I'm sure.
Yeah, happy to get the one at the end there. Missed weight a couple of weeks ago, had some fluctuations from hormones, but happy to make weight today. And then after noticing I wasn't focusing properly on the first squat, we sorted it out in the end. So yeah, happy to get that one.
You must be stoked, I'm sure, that the number one target today was the Australian squat record and I'm sure the qualifying total for nationals.
Yeah, mainly nationals. I don't have a total for this year yet, so it was just to get a total on the board to take to the nationals, yeah.
And remind us again, what is the qualifying total in the 47 kilo class? It's the first time you're lifting in this weight category, no?
Yeah, it's 297.5, I think. So we should be okay, but I just need to get I don't have a total this year yet, so yeah.
Before lifting, you did tell me that was the goal. So when I saw the increase from the opening lift on squats, I was like, oh no, this could be the start of a disaster. But you managed to compose yourself and a seasoned veteran.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I had issues at Nats with bench, but we knew that this was just a start command, so it was just a matter of listening, really. So lucky that's an easy fix, yeah.
All right, excellent. Well, wishing you the best of luck for the rest of the session. Thanks a lot.
Perfect, thank you.
And I think I'm joined now by the man of the moment, the new Australian record holder in the 120 kilo plus category. It's Tony Reinmuth. Tony, yeah, jump on in, mate. Come over here. Let's see if we can finish screen. We'll have to step back a little bit. So Tony Reinmuth, you've come in the first time competing here at City Strength. How are you feeling? You've just squatted the biggest lift of a biggest squat in Australian history, 406 kilos.
There was more there.
More there. It did look like that.
Yeah, it was easier than I thought it would be. But yeah, that's progress for you. You never know what you're going to have on the day. So we picked some numbers that were safe for today, build the total, get the win.
That is the other thing as well. It's going to be a very competitive session. I'm sure you and your coach have scouted out much of the other competition. It's not going to be a walkover because unlike many other sessions you lift in, it's very hotly contested, so you do have to kind of pace yourself. What would you say is your goal and your coach's goal for today's session?
Pretty much stretch the total out to the deadlifts, and then I'm going to be deadlifting first, but as long as I've got all the numbers I need before then, I should stretch the competitors out.
Excellent, Tony. We're going to let you get to the warm-ups for bench press, and best of luck for the rest of the session. Thank you.
Thanks, JB.
Right, and there you have it, Tony and Ainsley. Awesome lifting. Great session in the squats. We're about to take a short break before we cut to bench press. Thank you. I was thinking 410, man. Like, what's
408.5 for the 900 pounds. But I was like, that's my ego. I'm just going to play safe. But now that.
Let's make the lift.
Yeah. And also save his body. Nah, totally. There was no doubt it's happening.
Thank you, man. I hope that'll work.
I have no idea.
Welcome back, everybody, to the 2025 SBD Australia Cup, presented by City Strength, hosted here at City Strength HQ. We're moving on to the bench press session. I'm Alex Hayes. With me today, Rory Lynch. Okay, first up is Ainsley Jones, newest Australian record holder in the 47 kilo class, squatting 145. She'll be opening up her bench press day with 70 kilos. Now, worth noting, she did bomb at Nationals this year on bench press. So opening very, very light today to ensure that she's able to lock in a total. Very easy as expected there. And she is on the board. So I'm sure the nerves definitely calmed now for Ainsley now that she's got a bench press on the board. Moving on, Sophie Dobson with an opener of 87.5. The Australian record is 91 kilos. So I imagine they have their eyes set on that today.
Yeah, I would almost guess that their eye is set on that for a second attempt, sort of 91.5, maybe 92 on the second attempt there. And then because it is a record, she can then take whatever it is that she needs to take or whatever she thinks is most appropriate for her third attempt.
Explaining her handout instructions to our center spotter, Samo here.
Very thorough instructions to our chief spotter. I love that.
So one of the difficult things about bench press, particularly when we're looking at the lighter women's weight classes, is that the granularity of the attempt selection is very, very poor. Except in the case of records, you do have to take a 2.5 kilo jump, which if you bench 90 kilograms, which is a phenomenal bench press at these body weights, is a big percentage.
That is right. So sometimes you kind of just get stuck attempting what you can as opposed to what you want to. But in Sophie's case, she'll be able to pick any number that she wants above 91.0. So 87.5 opener, no issue there for Sophie. We'll see what they do put in for the second, whether they do put 91.5. Yep, there it is, 91.5 put in there for the second attempt. Good call, Rory. It's like you've coached before.
I have done this once or twice.
Ace the not weigh, 90 kilos. This is a PB already. Now, bench press isn't Aislin's strongest lift, so she'll be looking to collect as many kilos as she can, as opposed to chase any records today. She did have a 1 for 3 bench day at Nationals this year, so she'll be looking for more than that today, obviously, and that was a really good start to her day.
That moved very, very well, especially for a 5 kilo PB there.
Next up, Isabella von Weissenberg, 95 kilos. I believe this is what she opened with last year, finishing at 102.
Isabella has benched 105 before.
So unfortunately, she did miss her final squat on depth, which would have given her the Australian record. Beautiful start to the day.
Excellent bench press.
Very, very strong lifting. No issues whatsoever.
Up next, Nicola Orr, 105 kilos. Best bench of 112.5. I'm sure she'll be looking to eclipse that and probably go around 115 to 117.5 today.
Finishing the squat set with 197.5.
She went 3 for 3 in the squat with a 5 kilo PB. And she is the current record holder in the deadlift, so she will be looking to extend her total with a big deadlift at the end today. That was a really, really great bench press opener.
That was very fast, and 3 white lights, that's a good lift.
Plenty of room today. I actually expect to see a 7.5 kilo jump onto her second there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that. We have noted that she does tend to take slightly smaller jumps, but that was very good.
Yeah, that was a lot easier than expected. That looked like what she should have done out in the back room. Up next, Hannah Altman, the current record holder in the 76 kilo class. Her best bench is 115 in competition. This is 107.5 as her opener. What do you think about that one, Rory?
That was a little bit slower than I would normally want a opening bench press to move. But she is on the board. That is 3 white lights. Looks like she's having a very frantic conversation with the coach there.
Yes, we'll see what they decide to do. I think the decision is probably 2.5 or 5. 2.5 if that just felt heavy. Probably 5 if it felt like she didn't hit her groove right or didn't get her setup right. And Abby Wallace, who's been the outstanding performer of the day so far, breaking the squat record by 21 kilos, and now she is breaking the bench press record on her opener by 4 kilos. So it was 105 by Jessica Liu before today. You're going to see 109 to open up Abby's bench press day.
So Abby has benched 117.5 kilograms. However, that was a weight class up. So
bench press does tend to be the lift that we see drop off most frequently with a drop in the weight class. But, I mean, for Abby, it looks like no harm done. Fantastic start for Abby, 109 on the board, and another Australian record for her. Brittany Romas up next, opening with 110. As we mentioned before, the 76 bench record is 115. It is Hannah Altman's, who just benched 107.5. Brittany opening 2.5 kilos heavier than that. She has recently benched 120 in competition. So I do expect this one to move quite easily, and I do expect a 115.5 chip on the second attempt.
The Australian record in the 76 kilo category is 115. So that's the number we're chasing on bench, 115. But more importantly, we're looking to build a total, build that total, baby.
Absolutely fantastic bench press over there from Brittany. Now, the only thing I would be concerned with for Brittany is the elbow depth. Getting 3 white lights there is obviously no concern for the referees. But it looks good to me as well.
yeah, just watching the replay here now, I would be a little bit wary about that, but she didn't get a call for it, so it's probably going to be okay today.
84 kilo category.
Beth Parker, 115. Now, Beth has benched 130 in competition before, has benched 135 multiple times in training. I do expect to see a very big jump here, like probably 10 kilos.
Wow. That is what an opener looks like when you're a 130 bench presser.
Yeah, we might even see more than 10 kilos. Current record is 128.5. She might go for it on the second.
I think that would be risky. I would be probably looking to go sort of 122.5 and then maybe sort of 129 on the third attempt.
We'll see what they put in. That one was great. a lot better than our expectations, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, they've gone plus 10, so they've gone 125 for their second attempt. Ainsley Jones, 5 kilo jump.
To qualify for the national championships in the 47 kilo category. First time lifting in this class.
Now, Ainsley is kind of pivoting her goals a little bit. She's a little bit away from the bench or the deadlift records today. So she wants to qualify for nationals as a 47. This being her first meet at 47. She doesn't have a qualifying total yet. And she's now got 2 benches on the board with 75, moving quite well.
So if I remember correctly, Ainsley did attempt to make 47 kilos once previously and sort of aborted that attempt early. So this is the first time that she's actually made it and weighed in at exactly 47 kilograms.
That's right. It was actually 2 weeks ago. She was 47.1 when weigh-ins closed, which is unfortunate, but they decided not to even compete and they were going to sign up for a competition in a couple of weeks' time. And then we had someone pull out of the competition, so I contacted Ainsley and see if she wanted to jump in, and they decided to jump right in. And here they are today. Sophie Dobson attempting the 52 kilo bench press record. This is currently held by Vicky Kay from last year's event, 91.0. And it looked like she kind of misgrooved that one and pressed it a little bit towards her waist as opposed to backwards towards the rack. So that blue card is for downward movement. but it is still a good lift and a new Australian bench press record for Sophie Dobson.
And this is possibly where we see the advantage of not having to take a 2.5 kilo jump. Obviously, that was probably a little bit harder than she wanted it to be. She could take 92.0 now if she wanted to, or 93 kilos or something.
Yeah. Aislinn adding 5 kilos to her opener, which looked comfortable and good. This will be a 10 kilo competition PB. She is really adding to her day from Nationals. Nationals was a huge PB total for her as it was, and we're seeing many kilos added to her total today. And similarly to Sophie, Aislinn pressed that one towards her waist, pressed it forward, which just makes that leverage so much harder. But I think she does have the strength for it. Just a bit of a misgroove.
Yeah, I would almost class that as a technical fault. Like, she was in perfect position until she got it to her chest, and then she just sort of pushed it on a funny angle. If she takes her time and comes back to that, I'm sure she'll be able to do that.
So they will reattempt that on the third. And funnily enough, Sophie's actually gone for 95 on her third, which tells me that they think that that second was a bit of a misgroove too. Up next, Izzy von Weissenberg, 102.5. Did well to get through that one. Probably, again, a little harder than what they would have liked. So I do expect the smallest increment next for her, which would be 105.
I would imagine so as well, particularly on bench press and particularly for like a seasoned lifter like Izzy. Even matching a PB like that is a good day.
Next up, Nicola Orr, 5 kilo jump. Now, we mentioned how easy her opener was. They have gone +5, which means I'll have to save that PB attempt for the third. She is building a very nice day so far, making her first 4 lifts. This attempt would be 2.5 under her PB. That would move really well too.
Where would you go from there? Another 5 kilos?
Yeah, I would go 5, knowing her PB bench is 112.5. I would take that PB there. I think it's there today. She did have a red card from the middle. Rory, you're the Cat 2 referee here. What's the red card for?
So a red card is either failure to actually touch your chest and to touch your belly instead, or more likely to be a depth call. From the angle that I'm sitting on, I can't actually see the depth. However, the centre referee is directly in front there.
Yeah, the easiest telltale for depth is how big the range of motion is. Generally, the smaller the range of motion, the more likely the lifter is to be skirting on the edges of the depth call. So Hannah Altman, 5 kilo jump. Unfortunately, being asked to replace the bar, I don't think she had her left fingers covering the rings.
So she does have 60 seconds. She's got 21 seconds on the clock now. So that should be plenty of time for someone like Hannah.
She's done really well there. It can often be very difficult for a lifter to do their full setup, have to re-rack the bar, and then do their setup without actually walking to the bench, as opposed to already being sitting on the bench. She did a really good job to stay composed there and nail that attempt. So Brittany Romas attempting to match the record bench press of 115. Interestingly enough, not going for the chip here.
Yeah, why do you think she did that?
I think they're probably just worrying about building the total and taking it on the third and waiting to see what Hannah does, because Hannah is now going to attempt to chip on her third. Brittany is the reigning SBD Cup champion. Having a fantastic day thus far. Beautiful bench press there from Brittany. Looks like she can do up to 120 today. We'll see what they decide to do. Where would you go from there, Rory?
I'm probably a little bit more on the conservative side, and so I would probably, particularly because this is record range and she can take sort of any number that she wants, I would be probably looking at something like about a 118, maybe like a 118.5, well within her wheelhouse, rather than really trying to push the limits here.
I think the other thing to notice as well is that her other two competitors have already had a miss each. So they're a little bit behind where they were probably projecting. So a more conservative attempt for Brittany would make sense to kind of react to what's happening with the rest of the competition. 115 here for Abby Wallace, adding 6 kilos to her own recently set bench press record.
Oh,
wow.
God. 3 white lights. That is another good lift for Abby Wallace.
Fantastic day for Abby. She was the favorite going into today, and I think she's already exceeded everybody's expectations, going very, very close to what she did as a 63 at 57.
She is at 70% of the national record total without even taking a deadlift yet.
Unbelievable. And rounding out the second round of the women's bench press is Bethany Parker. 125, 10 kilo jump. That opener moved like nothing. So we'll see how much room there is after this one. I expect this one to be quite comfortable too.
I think she clipped the rack on the way down there, just on the right-hand side. Hasn't stopped her though, 3 white lights.
Yeah, fantastic bench press there from Beth. Current record 128.5, looks to be in a bit of trouble.
I would say so. Would you just take 129 or would you take a bit of a bigger jump there?
I'm not sure what I would do there. I don't know what their plan is. I don't know what their sort of objectives are, whether they need a certain bench press to achieve a certain deadlift to then achieve a certain total. So it may come down to calculating that stuff as well. And here comes the third round of bench press. Another 5 kilo jump for Ainsley. It's just 5 kilos below her best bench as a 52. It's her first meet as a 47. She's had a great day so far. She's done really well there.
So a little bit of a mixed result there. No lift, 2 reds. So from the left-hand side, there was a red call there. So that I actually suspect that was not touching her chest. I could see daylight from where I was sitting. But then on the middle, there was a yellow card there. So a yellow card is typically a technical fault. So that may have been missing the press command, or there may have been like a head movement or something that I'm not able to see from where I'm sitting.
Yeah, from where I am, I think it was the press command. 95 kilos for Aislinn. This would give her a 10 kilo competition PB. She did miss this on her second attempt. I do think it was a bit of a misgroove. So we'll see if she can groove this one a bit better and lock in an extra 5 kilos on a total.
I think it was a misgroove as well. And the bench and the equipment that we're using here today is a little bit unusual. It's a little bit different to what most people are used to. So it's possible that it's a little bit of a learning curve there.
So I do know that at MD Strength they do have the sky pads. So yeah, definitely just a technical miss on that second attempt, and she's able to clean it up there, and definitely looked like she probably actually had 97.5 as well.
I would say so as well.
Next up, Sophie Dobson. Now we mentioned earlier that Sophie had the choice of whatever weight she wanted here. Interestingly enough, she's decided to go with a 2.5 increment. She's decided to go with 95. Her second attempt was a bit of work. We did mention that it may have been a bit of a misgroove because it kind of moved forward before it came back towards the rack. So we'll see if she can kind of rectify it and perfect this on the third attempt. I do suspect she will need to absolutely nail her execution to get this.
Yeah, I would describe a sort of roughly 4 kilo jump at this point as being like reasonably aggressive. Never mind, that was right on the money, I think.
She has done amazingly there. Very, very patient in her position, holding her spot and pushing through the hardest point of the bench press. That is great bench pressing there from Sophie Dobson, and great attempt selection there from Jack Dunn, her coach, who obviously knows his lifter very, very well.
Barlow's 105, 84 kilo class, Isabella von Weisenberry, bar loaded. As far as loaded, brings pushing it together. Third set bench press.
191 for the total.
Following Isabella, we have Nicola Hall.
Isabella von Weissenberg, 105. It's been equal competition PB.
Brittany Romas, number of Australian records to come.
sometimes you just know it's not there.
Yeah, why waste the energy when you know? So Izzy goes into deadlifts with a 302.5 subtotal. Just 5 kilos below where Nicola is currently at, and 7.5 kilos below where Bethany is currently at. So a hotly tested class coming up here in the 84s with all three of these women deadlifting around the same. And I know that they'll all be wanting to go home with that deadlift record. 115 for Nicola, 5 kilo jump. This would be a 2.5 kilo PB. And she's done really well holding her position there too and fighting through the middle. That's great attempt selection, great execution there from Nicola. But unfortunately, elbow depth.
Yeah, so looking at the replay here, she is actually quite crooked. So her left elbow is sort of notably higher than the other one, and that was the side that did get the red card.
So unfortunately, Nicola is left with 307.5 on her subtotal. Still ahead of Izzy, but 2.5 kilos below Bethany before Bethany's last bench press. A 3 kilo jump here for Hannah, who's looking to extend her own bench press record of 115 to 115.5 kilos.
She benched 112.5 in the second round. Her Australian record is 115. This is 115.5.
She does a really good job of that one.
That was excellent. 3 white lights, that's a good lift, a new Australian record, and $150 in her pocket, at least for right now.
So Hannah had the squat record for a couple minutes before Aislinn took it off her. She's now got the bench record and has a chance to lose that one too, with Brittany Romas attempting 118.5, a 3.5 kilo jump. Now this would also put her 3 kilos ahead of Hannah on the subtotal. Sorry, two kilos ahead of Hannah on the subtotal. Wait. Beautifully executed bench press there.
Very good. I think going on the slightly conservative side there probably was a good call.
And 3 white lights for Brittany, an extra 3.5 kilos added to her total, and an extra $150 in her bank account. That takes her subtotal to 316, leading on Hannah 309.5 and Aislinn 300.5. So a hotly contested 76 kilo class as well. Here comes Abby Wallace, 120 kilos at 57. This is actually a 2.5 kilo PB in any weight class for her, and it's her first competition in the 57 class. It's above her own 63 kilo record, it's above the 69 kilo record, and it's also above the 76 kilo record.
It is worth pointing out that this is the second...
And unfortunately, a little bit greedy there from Abby and Jack. But 115 is still fantastic bench press at 57 kilos, and she has a commanding lead over today. So missing out on that 5 kilos doesn't really impact the result. As long as she gets her deadlift opener, she will be SBD Cup champion.
So 115 kilos at 57 is the 7th best bench press at 57 ever. And 120 would have been the 2nd best bench press at 57 ever.
Wow,
Not in Australia,
incredible.
in the world ever.
That's incredible. Bethany Parker looking to chip her good friend Jan Feisal's bench press record of 128.5. This is 129.0 kilos. Now I expect this to be smoke.
This is the break. Her long-time compatriot, friend, rival, Yanni Zhao's record.
She's absolutely smoked that. That is fantastic lifting from Bethany.
129.
That's a good lift. 3 white lights.
He's given the show me the money signal. And that concludes bench press for the ladies. Awesome session of bench pressing.
How many records did we see there, Alex?
We saw 52 kilo record, we saw 57 kilo record, we saw 76 kilo record, and we saw 84 kilo record. So all the classes that are competing today, except for the 47s, we had the bench press record broken. Leonardo Suchitra, 157.5 kilo bench press opener. .5 below his best bench press. Did not have a great squat session, but is looking to capitalize on the bench press session. And unfortunately being asked to replace the bar with just 20 seconds left on the clock. Now, when you do take as much time as Leo to set up, this can actually really throw a big spanner in the works. 7 seconds. Gets the start call with 3 seconds on the clock. And smokes it. Nice looking bench press there from Leo.
That is yet another reason that it makes sense to open a little bit lighter than you think you might need to. If that had been a little bit heavier with 3 seconds on the clock, I think he would have been maybe a little more stressed.
So he did receive a blue card from the middle there. What do you think that was for, Rory?
I wonder if his elbows weren't fully locked at either the beginning or the end of the lift there. I suspect that's what he was called there, just for the just with the re-rack call. Yeah. So looking at the replay, I wonder if his left elbow wasn't locked out.
So up next, Kana Chambara, 160 kilos. .5 kilos below his best bench press. Now, kind of does take big jumps, so we expect him to kind of end up near there as well. He will need to make 3 benches to keep himself in the fight for the overall. That's a beautiful looking bench press opener.
3 white lights. He is on the board for bench press.
Now, I expect to probably see 175 or 172.5 on his second attempt here.
Yeah, I would say so as well. I know that in training he's hit 180 sort of a number of times, so I think that's probably about what he's aiming for again here.
So Michael Rand coming up next. Now, he had an injury on his final squat, so he has dropped his bench press opener down, perhaps because he's having some issues with leg drive during warm-ups. His opener was initially supposed to be 192.5, dropping it down to 170. He might just do this with no leg drive at all.
He is limping quite badly coming up to the platform here.
So hopefully Michael's okay. Perhaps he's just putting together enough of a total to qualify for Nationals as a 120. Obviously very easy bench press, a long way below his best, but struggling to walk on and off the platform, Michael. We'll see if they decide to do another one or not. They are submitting an attempt. Next up, Kevin Lai. First meet as a 93, almost weighing in at 93. Like he's almost filled out the class. And he's been lifting phenomenally today. He will be within range of that bench press record today. It is currently 193.0. It's Jonathan Caruso's record. And I've seen Kevin bench 190 in training with some room. So we'll see if he's having a good bench press day or not, and whether he is going to attempt that record.
For also a little bit of a sleeper late addition here, Kevin. With this attempt, we'll move him to forecast second place overall. Obviously, there's still quite a lot of lifting to go. Still have 6 attempts to come, but he is putting himself in a very good position here.
A little bit sloppy on that one. I'm not sure if that's just a misgroove.
So 2 white lights. He did get a blue card from the middle there, so downward movement. I think that's what you saw there, just on the looked like his left side was just like a little bit sloppy at lockup.
We'll see if he can rectify that on his second. We'll see what kind of jump they take. I suspect quite a small one. Sam Butterworth, as I mentioned earlier, really making some good bench press progress. Current PB is 190, opening with 182.5. Given the size of his squat jumps and his usual bench press jumps, I kind of expect him to fall around 197.5 or 200 today. So we'll see how this one looks. So Kevin Lai opting for only a 5 kilo jump.
I think that's probably wise.
Smooth opener for Sam.
What do you think from there? 190 maybe?
Yeah, 7.5 or 10 would be kind of what I'd be tossing up if I was at the attempt table right now. Now up next, Tony Ryan with 185. Now Tony has benched 258 in the past. Has been dealing with some shoulder issues. Benched 200 in June and missed 207.5. So I expect to see him around the 205, 210 mark. He did mention to me yesterday when I saw him that his shoulder was feeling good. So I expect this one will fly. Moved as expected. Now, where would you go from there, Rory?
It really depends on the nature of the shoulder issue. You know, there's some of these injuries when you have them, they really sort of compress your top end. And so although that was very fast, if he was experiencing pain doing that, it's entirely possible that he would just lose all power as soon as he goes over 195. Given the injury history, I would probably just err on the side of taking a little bit of a smaller jump.
So they have decided to jump 15 to 200.
That closes out the first round of bench press.
So it is worth noting that Tony is forecasted in first. So being a bit conservative here, given he had such a great day on squats and others didn't, is probably the move. Yanni Marcellus, 187.5. Wow.
That was very good. I do think that in training, Yanni tends to rush his pauses quite a lot. And so I was a little bit worried that that's not going to translate onto the platform, but I have very little doubt after seeing that.
Yeah, that one was really fast. He opened at 190 at his last meet, went to 200 and got that, and then missed 205. So I do expect him to kind of be around that 205 mark again. Hopefully he can make that third attempt this time. Final bench presser of the round, Josh Lanivia, 207.5.
Australian records being broken.
Now he is the current holder of the bench press record with 225. Had a great day on squats. Did mention to me before weigh-ins that he has been dealing with some elbow issues. So we'll see if that plagues him at all during bench press session today. I think my elbow would hurt too if I bench 207.5.
Yeah, I think the putting the squats on his back probably didn't help that either.
That's a beautiful looking opener. Now, Josh is actually quite a slow bench presser. So you'll see his second attempt and probably think, oh, there's not too much left. And then he'll take, another reasonably sized jump and he'll make that one too.
So from there, I would probably be looking at a 217 second and then probably just 225.5 third and just secure the bench record as well. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that logic. So Leonardo Suchitra, 165. This will match his PB. So having a bit of a better day on bench press than he did on squats. And he will need all the kilos he can get here after the disappointing squat session to get him enough kilos to have a stab at chasing his own total record and perhaps get himself on the overall podium. Again, using a lot of his clock. Hopefully he can get the start command straight away here. And he does.
I wonder if he just beat the command there.
Looked like he may have. Yeah, he has. That is quite unfortunate. And it puts the coach in a bit of a sticky situation. Because there was probably some room there, but is it worth the risk to go up?
Look, at this point, I think Leonardo is probably off the podium. And so, I don't know.
I think it's probably worth actually taking the risk because, as you mentioned, he needs kind of every kilo he can get on the podium.
Maybe just a 167?
Yeah, maybe. 15 kilo jump for Kana Chambara. And we have seen a 5 kilo jump from Leonardo Suchitra, so he backs himself He and his coach really back his ability to come in and make that third bench press after that miss. 3 red plates on the bar for Kana Shambara. 5.5 below his best. It's moved nicely. Now the current record in the 83 class is 186.5. I can't see him quite extending that far, but I could see 182.5 next. What do you think, Rory?
I think 182.5 is probably a good call there. 185 is just a bit of a stretch, but with his current PB at 180.5, 180.5, and moving like that, I think 182.
Kevin Lai up next, opting for a small jump. His opener did get 1 red light and was a little sloppy. We will see here whether that was just a missed execution or whether, you know, maybe he's having an off day.
So this already is a 2.5 kilo PB for Kevin. His best bench press previously was 182.5. I have seen him hit 190 in training. However, you know, of course, translating that into competition standards can be a little bit difficult.
That one did look better, but I do expect a 2.5 jump from there.
That was quite a bit of work. It was tidier, but that was hard. And bench press does tend to slow down quite quickly for a lot of people.
Up next, Michael ran 185, 15 kilo jump, suffering some sort of leg injury during squats, limping his way onto the platform and gritting his teeth through it.
Kind of limping onto the platform there. He hurt himself in the squat component of today's session. But he's out here to continue and bench 185. In the second round of bench press.
Michael ran 185.
Michael ran 2022 Australian champ.
Oh, he's done very well there. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he took another 15 kilo jump from there.
Yeah, his best bench in competition is 200. You know, repeating that with no leg drive by the looks of it, you know, effectively a Larsen press might be a little bit difficult, but that did move really well.
Remember, Rory, he is up a weight class. This is his first time as a 120. So perhaps, you know, he has benched well above 200 in training recently. So he's getting a lot out of that body weight. Perhaps he can, you know, knock over an equal PB without his legs.
Sam will be followed by Yanni.
Sam Butterworth, this is a PB. 2.5 kilo PB attempt here for Sam. We are yet to see a bench press record attempt in the men's division today. A bit of work there for Sam, but he's done well to get it, and he's locked in another 2.5 on his total, on his PB, sorry, and another 10 kilos on his total.
2 white lights there, just the yellow card from the middle, which is typically a technical fault. Just having a look to see if I can spot what that was on the replay.
Looked to me like he beat the press call.
Oh, okay.
Just based on the referee's hand versus when he pressed, it looked like the hand went up before the bar. Yanni Marcellus, 12.5 kilo jump. Opener was lightning, absolutely flew. We do see with these sync style bench presses, Rory, that the weights tend to drop off quite quickly. So although the 187 moved really, really well, we'll see how much of a drop off in speed he does get with this 12.5 kilo jump. And quite a big drop off in speed, but that did move well, and he does have a bit of room. I would assume that that would be for butt lift.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the replay now.
So 200 kilos locked in for Yanni Marcellus, and now 200 kilos being attempted by Tony Rymeth.
Tony weighed in today at 172. A man mountain.
So as it's currently going, Tony will be looking to attempt around about 100% of the record on his first deadlift. If he can lock in this bench and then a little bit more. A little sloppy, but moved well. Kind of just hit the rack
Yeah, so hitting the rack is not automatically a cause of disqualification, but it can cause you to drop up and down or something.
The top of the rack. If it supports the lift,
Okay, so the center ref is saying yellow card for supporting on the rack, but that is a good lift with white lights from either side.
But Josh Lanivier up next, 10 kilo jump, 217.5. Now this would put him just 7.5 below his own bench press national record, which I imagine he will be attempting to chip on his third attempt.
Josh currently holds the Australian record in the bench press. At 225. This is 217.5.
As I mentioned on his opener, he is quite a slow bench presser. That one actually looked fast by his standards. 3 white lights. I would definitely expect 225.5. He looks at his coach as in, yeah, loaded. So I think we will see it loaded.
Right, we now have Liam. If I'm not mistaken, Liam missed his second attempt bench press at 165. You see a bar load of 170. But we do see a jump of 5 kilos for Leo.
So Leo taking the risk of jumping up after a missed attempt. Now, I can't remember what he missed for. Did he beat the call?
He beat one of the calls, yeah.
So it was quite comfortable, but an extra 5 kilos is a risky move. Leo is a seasoned veteran. He's competed on the highest level platforms, worlds, nationals, etc., etc. So if anyone can do it, it's someone with this type of experience.
So
And this will keep him in the hunt.
It will. This will pull him ahead of both Kana and Sam Butterworth on overall. And so this extra 5 kilos, although it's risky, is probably worth it.
And he has done exceptionally well through the middle of that. Fantastic lifting from Leo.
3 white lights, that is a good lift.
And a 5 kilo PB there from Leo. Really, really clutch lift. And as Rory mentioned, it's put him ahead of 2 of our lifters and into current 6th place.
In the 83 kilo category. Scored a 290 earlier in the day. Yes. Right now, bar is loaded with 185, 185 kilos.
185 for Kana. Now, we both agreed that 182 would be what we would do. But what do we know? We're not his coach.
I've definitely been wrong before. And I do know that John watches the vast majority of his training in person. And I think that sort of adds quite a lot of like valuable data as far as this attempt selection goes.
And similarly to Leo, a bit of a risk here in the third attempt bench press, but it will keep him in the competition. And he has done really well.
Wow, I even think there was a little bit of more room still.
I think they might have been able to go for the record there. That was fantastic bench pressing there from Kana. Really, really clutch lifting. And that has put him back into 4th place.
Bar is loaded.
I almost wonder if they just opened a little bit too light and were a little bit stuck. You know, they took a 15 kilo jump and then a 10 kilo jump. It would have been really hard to justify anything bigger, even though there was probably a little bit of room.
I know Kana has missed a couple of bench presses at his last 2 competitions. And I'm sure that they wanted to ensure that they locked 3 in today, which they've done. So I guess being conservative plays into that, but perhaps it does sort of nerf the top end a little bit. Up next, Kevin Lai, 190. This will match his training bench press best and be 7.5 above his competition best. And unfortunately, just a little too heavy today. But Kevin is still in 5th place and forecasted 4th place after first deadlifts. So he's still in a good spot to break that total record.
2.5 kilos up on his second attempt.
And still in a good place to have a crack at the overall podium. Up next, 2.5 kilo jump for Sam. This will be a 5 kilo competition PB.
Following Sam, we have Michael Rand. Yanni Muselis, Tony Ryan.
I do think this is a good call.
then a new
His
Australian
second attempt
record
was
by
quite
Josh
slow,
Olivia.
and you don't really gain anything by attempting an extra, say, 5 kilograms, not getting it. May as well grab the extra couple of kilos, put that on the total, put that on the forecasted score, and keep tracking with deadlifts. As we've mentioned, he is a huge deadlifter.
He is, and you know, as we mentioned earlier with these bigger boys, one miss from one of the others could leave the door open for Sam to pull for that total record. Oh, unfortunately, just a little bit heavier than he could do today. But he'll walk away with the bench press PB. 5 out of 6 made lifts for Sam. And he stays in 7th place. Up next, Michael ran 195, attempting what Sam just missed.
195. So far we haven't seen any lifters.
So keeping an eye on his best competition bench is 200, but like you pointed out, in training, I believe he's had a really good 210 single. I think I saw a 212.5 double just posted in the last handful of days. So he's clearly made some good gains here and is going to effectively last impress at this, I think.
Yeah, I really hope Rand can figure out whatever this injury is before Nationals, because he will be a chance at his trajectory in this new class to challenge Josh and Sam. And he's done very well. And I do think the 200 was there today. But he is probably in quite a bit of discomfort, which probably affects, you know, how he feels about attempting something even heavier than that.
I don't know off the top of my head what the qualifying total there is there, but I am guessing that he is now pacing himself to hit that qualifying total rather than trying to end up on the podium or anything like that. And he is falling a little bit behind on the overall rankings, currently looking at 8th place.
JP, am I okay? Fan until 1 or 2.
I got to qualify for national.
1 or 2.
Up next, Yanni Muselis, 5 kilo jump. Now, he did miss this just recently at his last competition in August. 200 was a bit of work. But I think if he executes this one well, he can knock it over. He's done really well there.
I think that was probably on the money. 3 white lights, that's a good lift.
That looked better executed than the second attempt. So hats off to Yanni there for being able to execute at the highest level when the weights are the heaviest. That's the hardest thing to do. Tony Rymeth here, 210. Now this would put him above 100% after his deadlift opener. So he is currently forecasted in 1st place.
Another 5 kilos.
So the current total record in the 120 plus class is 910. This would give him a subtotal of 606. He may have gone a bit early there. What do you think, Rory?
Yeah, I'm going to wait for the referees on that one, I think. So unfortunately, that is no lift. So looks like yellow card. So I'm picking that is missing that press command just from the center and one side referee. So
And
no lift.
he's come off and said to his coach, yes, I beat it. Honesty from the big man.
Got to respect that.
Now, final attempt of bench press today. Josh Lanivia, the only record attempt in this men's class for bench press. Josh Lanivia to break his own bench press record, 225.5. He's having himself a fantastic day. He broke his own squat record, and now he's attempting to break his own bench press national record. Josh is currently forecasted in 3rd, but currently in 2nd place.
Using quite a lot of his clock here. 14 seconds before he even gets it out of the rack.
Smooth to the finish.
Beautiful.
That is great bench pressing, great attempt selection, fantastic lifting from Josh Lanivia.
3 white lights. That is a new Australian record, and he is going home a little bit richer.
Josh Olivia putting together a 6 for 6 day. He's the only male who is 6 out of 6, joining only Brittany and Bethany as the only other lifters who are 6 for 6 today. So we're going to have a quick interview with JP Kauki, our MC, and 2 new Australian bench press record holders, Bethany Parker and Josh Lanivia.
I'm joined here by Bethany Parker. Bethany just broke the Australian record in the bench press in the 84 kilo class. Beth, was the Australian record always a plan for today in the bench press?
Yeah, we were going to see what's there on the bench, but I mean, you're at a comp where you get paid to take some records, so I thought I may as well get some money.
Clearly was the #1 priority. In the opening bench press, I saw you get up, you were a bit confused and you spoke to the referee. What happened there?
Yeah, the bottom of the bench was just a little bit lifted on a rubber insert, so just to make it fair for everyone, I just let someone know. The spotters were actually onto it already because I think they saw me look down. But yeah, just felt a little bit off on that first. Luckily, we fixed it up, easy fix.
You're 6 out of 6, you've gotten all your squats, all your bench presses. What are you looking forward to next?
Mate, I'd love to just finish the day strong, take what's there. Like, I know placings are nice, but I didn't get to compete earlier this year. This is my big chance to get a total back together, and the main goal is nationals.
Awesome, thanks for joining us, Beth, and best of luck for the rest of this session.
Thank you,
That was Beth Parker. I'm now joined by Josh Lanivia. Josh, welcome. We need to get in frame because you're a little bit bigger than I am. You've put together a great day of lifting. You've managed 3 out of 3 on the squat record, 3 out of 3 on the bench press record. You must be happy.
I am ecstatic about that. My peak week of training, I failed both those lifts, so it'll show up comp day.
As it always does, and I think it's because you're a great executioner. Is that something that you really make a point to work on in your training?
Absolutely. My recovery last week wasn't the best, so I told my coach that, and I was like, okay, this week I'll have to nail it, and I'll just hit what I did in training. So I failed in training, but it's what on the platform that counts.
Exactly right. Now you're a 6 out of 6. It's a very tight battle yourself. Yanni Muselis, Tony Reinmuth, all fighting to take out the first place and win SBD Cup. A lot of prize money in the line. How are you feeling going into deadlifts?
On comp day, I just come into deadlifts and just let my coach run the numbers. He asked me if I'm good for it. I'm always good for it. So if we have a chance to pull for the win, I'm going to go for it.
Excellent. Well, that's what we want to see. Best of luck for the rest of the session, Josh.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. That was Beth Parker and Josh Lanivia.
And we are back here at 2025 SBD Australia Cup, presented by City Strength, here at City Strength HQ, here for the final session of the day, the deadlift discipline. First up, we've got Ainsley Jones, 142.5. Very comfortable start for Ainsley. 3 white lights. Now, Ainsley's she's currently in first because she's the only one who has a deadlift. But on a forecast total, presuming all of these women achieve their opening deadlifts as nominated, she'll actually be in 9th place. So fair way away from that total record in the 47 kilo class, but she did nab the squat record earlier today, 145.5, which was definitely her highlight for today. Next up, Sophie Dobson, 170 kilos. Now the current deadlift record in the 52 class is 185, which is held by Sinyu Liang. I'm sure Sophie has her eyes on that today.
Something that's worth noting is that if you fail to make a total, none of your records count. And so, like Sophie has just done, making sure that you do get a deadlift on the board is essential. Even if you set a record earlier, you could lose it now if you don't manage to make a deadlift. And that is 3 white lights there for Sophie.
Nice looking opener there for Sophie. Definitely expecting her to have a crack at the 185.5, which would be the new record. And we'll see how far she would need to go for the total record. Now they're going for the 185.5 on the second attempt, which is very interesting. We'll be back to that shortly. Hannah Altman next up with 180.
So Hannah here with this deadlift will land her on essentially 99%, 98.889%, which on forecast placings will put her 4th. Now the difference between second, third, and 4th at this point is sort of less than 3%.
16.5 kilos.
16.5 kilograms.
A little bit of a mishap there for Hannah at the top. And unfortunately, no lift. Didn't quite lock that one out. So we'll see what they decide to do. I'm assuming they will go up because they kind of almost have to. Otherwise, that second to third jump will end up being too big, and she could, finish 8th when she could otherwise finish in the top 3.
Yeah, I don't think she wants to take a 30-kilo jump from her second to her third attempt. They have put in the same weight again, so they are repeating the 180.
Definitely the conservative move there from Hannah and her coach. So Abby Wallace up next, 185. If she knocks this over, she will be your SBD Cup Australian champion for 2025. Just a phenomenal performance today from Abby. Now, the one thing to watch for with Abby's deadlift is her right hand. Sometimes she gets quite a lot of slippage in that right hand. Obviously fine there at the opener, but we'll see how that plays out with her next 2 attempts. And congratulations to Abby. First one to congratulate her on winning SBD Cup 2025. She's already 13% over the Australian record total, which is just unheard of. And she's still got 2 deadlifts left.
Yeah, so that brings her to a 487 kilogram total, 487.0 kilogram total. And she has put a 193 in for the second attempt there, which is a deadlift record and, of course, another total record.
Yep, so that will chip the current record, which is Kirsty Lays at 192.5. Up next, reigning champion Brittany Romas with a very nice looking 190. Now her best deadlift is 207.5, which she did recently. That deadlift just there gives her 102.222%, which puts her in second. Bethany Parker up next, the same weight, 190. Now, just like Beth's opening squats and bench presses, this one will fly. Known for her big jumps. Very, very comfy opener there for Beth.
3 white lights, that's a good lift.
Now, she's currently in 4th. Forecasted in 8th, but I do expect that forecasted placing to go up a little bit given how big her jumps are relative to the other women. Isabella von Weissenberg, 200 kilos. This will give her 90.404%.
This is Izzy with 200 kilos.
Now, Izzy's best deadlift is 222.5 kilograms, which is the best of the 84 kilo woman here today. But it has been a while since she's done that.
Wow, that was
very good.
That was fantastic.
That was fantastic.
Now, it is worth noting with Izzy, she actually attempted 234.5 last year, which was obviously a bit of a Hail Mary, but it was for the win in the 84 class and to take that total record. So I imagine we will see a big risk, or we will see her load whatever she needs at the end of today, which will make things very, very exciting at the end. Aislinn Otway, 200 kilo deadlift opener. We'll give her 101.1% and put her into third place.
So Aislinn's best deadlift before today was 205. I don't think that is safe for very long. I imagine that we're going to see sort of something in the low 210s. Oh, there we go, 213 loaded up there for both a record deadlift and the record total for Aislinn. She does actually already have the record total at 101%.
So last deadlifter of the round, Nicola Orr, 215, just 4 kilos below the current record, which is her own. That was a bit of work, but there's still some room left in the tank today.
It did look like she was starting to get the leg shaking, the jackhammer effect that some people do for when they get to the heavy end of deadlifts.
And it definitely is worth noting her 219, that is the current record, was very, very slow. And based on that one, there's still plenty of kilos left in the tank. She really can fight, and I can't wait to see what she does. 10 kilo jump for Ainsley Jones. She has solidified herself a total. She has qualified for nationals now, and I think the rest of these deadlifts are just going to be icing on the cake for her. She takes home the squat record, and she's a newly minted national level 47 kilo lifter. So this will give her a 373 total, which would rank her second in the 47 class in Australia. Definitely a bit of work towards the top there. Right lights. Where would you go from there, Rory?
I would take a relatively small jump from there. I think maybe 157.5. She's definitely got a little bit left, right? Like that wasn't a limit lift, but not a lot. And she doesn't get a lot. She doesn't gain a lot by taking a big jump from here. She's probably going to be finishing sort of 7th, 8th, 9th. She is probably unlikely to be able to approach the total record. I would just take the little jump.
Up next, Hannah Altman repeating 180, which she missed on her opener. Not on strength, just a little bit awkward at the top. I think the bar kind of got stuck on her legs a little bit. But this will put her into 4th place. And this will give her 98.889% of the 76 kilo total record. That's much better. Hannah's on the board. She's achieved the total. She's at 489.5. So just a little bit below that total record. And she's currently in 4th place.
That is already a 9.5 kilo total PB for Hannah. So even with the missed squat and the missed opening deadlift, and hasn't even taken a 3rd deadlift yet, this is the strongest day that she has ever been.
Yeah, she's having herself a day. Sophie Dobson, 185.5. She's the first deadlift record attempt for the day. Aiming to take over Sinew Liang's deadlift record of 185. And this will give her a 413 total.
This will also bring her to 98.8%, just putting her on 5th place. I don't know about that lockup, though.
I'm not too sure about that one.
Referees agree, 3 red cards, so that will be for not properly locking it out. You do need to get your hips locked and your shoulders back for a deadlift to count.
So I do imagine they'll reattempt that. She would need an extra 5.5 kilos to take the total record from Liz Craven. I don't know if that's in the in the cards today, and they've elected to reattempt. Obviously, it is the final deadlift, so they do have a couple of changes up their sleeve. Up next, Abby Wallace. This is the second deadlift record attempt today, looking to chip Kirsty Lay's current record of 192.5. This would give her the record in squat, in bench, in deadlift, and in total. We did see that right hand start to roll a little bit.
2 white lights, that is a good lift.
And it's good enough. And she now has records in all 4. A nice payday, as well as SBD Cup champion of 2025. Just a really flawless day of lifting from Abby. I think she's exceeded everyone's expectations. And she has a chance to actually hit a total PB down a weight class. Can you quickly look up, Rory, how many females have totaled 500 plus as a 57 before?
Four. This will put her in such company as Sarah Naldi, Jar Jacob, Natalie Richards, and Joy Namani.
So they are going to attempt 200.5, which would give her an equal total PB. And Brittany Romas locks in 202.5. Oh, unfortunately, not locked out there. I think maybe a little soft through the knees or the shoulders.
Yeah, I was looking at the shoulders in particular. Like, it looks like her shoulders aren't back; they're sort of like hunched forward.
So a very interesting decision for Brittany's coaches about what they decide to do here, about whether they decide to go up, because second is still within her grasps. So this will be interesting to see this play out. Beth Parker plus 20 kilos on 190, 210 on the second. And that's moved really, really nicely too. So the current record in the 84 class is 219, which is Nicola Oars. She is attempting 220 next, but we'll see what happens there, and we'll see whether Beth decides to chip her.
Of course, this is coming into third deadlift, so Beth could wait and see how the 220 moves before she decides if she wants to attempt to chip it or not, or could even put 220.5 now and then lower it later on.
And Aislinn Otway coming out now to break the total record and the deadlift record in the 76 kilo class. With Brittany's miss just there, this would put her into second place.
Unfortunately, just getting to lock out there and unable to finish the lift. So no lift for incomplete lift.
As she was leaving the platform, she was looking at her hand, which tells me that it was a miss on grip. So hopefully she can figure out how she can hold on a little better, maybe some liquid chalk before her third attempt. So 215 for Izzy. This would be just 4 kilos away from the deadlift record, which is held by our next lifter, Nicola Orr. 7.5 below Isabel's best. Very nice.
That was an excellent deadlift there.
What would you expect to see from Izzy on the third attempt?
Probably somewhere around the 222 mark. She definitely has some gas there. She's a very good lifter. She tends to be able to fight through hard positions. But something like a 10 kilo jump might be a little bit of a stretch there. Of course, it may be a record attempt at that time, so she may be able to take an odd number as well.
So here comes Nicola Orr, Australian deadlift record attempt to break her own record by 1 kilo. 220 on the bar for Nicola. I'll tell you what, there's another 5 in that, based on how slowly she moved at Nationals and how much she can grind. Fantastic lifting there from Nicola Orr, and another Australian record in the books.
So, coming into the third deadlift here, in first place with quite a margin is Abby Wallace, sort of floating around just under that 115% mark. But following that, we have a number of women sort of floating around between the 102 and sort of 106% mark, sort of depending on who makes their third deadlift and who doesn't.
And also, I'm sure we've got a couple of attempts in here that are bluffs. I can see Aislin's loaded in 230 after a 213 miss, so that'll be a bluff. They'll be changing down based on what the other lifters do. So keep an eye on the coaches coming to the attempt table to change their attempts. Ainsley Jones, 157.5. This would give her 378 kilo total.
I don't think she quite held that long enough.
Yeah, I think the hands were just slipping a little bit before the down call. So Ainsley will finish the day with a 373 total and a score of 90.424. Up next, we have Sophie Dobson reattempting the 52 kilo deadlift record. Now, she got it to lockout on the last one, but it wasn't quite convincing enough for the referees. She'll have to clean up that lockout a little bit more if she wants to take home that $150. Now, you, Rory, what would you tell your lifter in this instance heading into an attempt like this after what just happened?
I like to make sure that people are paying attention to the bulk of the job. And so the assumption here is that Sophie has been doing all of her training to standard. And so instead of focusing on the one lift that she's done here that wasn't to the appropriate standard, to make sure that she's focusing on the fact that she has done this in the past, presumably in training, and that she is, she is strong enough, she knows how to execute. I think that looks much the same as her second attempt.
Yes, I'm going to have to agree with you, Rory. Little soft at the top, and the referees agree. And Sophie Dobson's 52 kilo debut was a success. Came home with the bench press record and a couple of very close misses at that deadlift record, but finishes with a total of 397.5. Should rank her in the top few in Australia. And, cleaning up a couple of those misses today that were technicalities, she's a real shot at, breaking that total record in the future and becoming a national champion, perhaps. Next up, Hannah Altman, 192.5 kilos. This will give her a total of 502 and a score of 101.414. This will put her in third place.
Third place with a number of lifters still to come.
Fantastic lifting there from Hannah. Really, really convincing.
I think she's got that. 3 white lights.
Great job from Hannah Altman. She is now in third place. And she is now in third place just behind Brittany and Abby Wallace. So our podium right now, Abby Wallace first, Brittany Roma second, Hannah Altman third, with Aislinn Otway knocking on the door in fourth.
Aislinn currently with 230 in. We think that is, she's going to wait and see what everyone else is doing, and then presumably she gets to pick where she wants to finish, and then put exactly the deadlift on that gets her either second or third, depending on what she thinks is most appropriate at that time.
That's right. I think if Brittany misses, I think she will go for second. But I think if Brittany makes, I think she will go for third. That would be what I would do in the coaching box. And Abby Wallace coming out now, our SBD Cup Australia champion for 2025. This would actually give her a total PB, which I don't think many people would be expecting after dropping a whole weight class, particularly given how elite Abby was already as a 63 kilo lifter. Just adding to her accolades today, looking to extend her own deadlift and total records. And that one just slipped out of her hand before it got to her knee. But what an outstanding performance from Abby Wallace. 495 kilos at body weight of 56.6, breaking the Australian record by 64.5 total.
That is amazing. That does also make her the 6th best 57 kilo lifter ever. Which is, I think, is pretty phenomenal, especially for her first showing in this weight class.
She's on a 506 kilo total.
Brittany Romas, SBD Cup 2024 champion.
Wow. And what to the total?
This would give her second place, preliminary second place, until Aislinn decides what to do. But this would give her a total of 527
if she makes this lift,
So Brittany is in an interesting position here where she is actually already in second, but with a number of people pulling after her. And so if she leaves it where she is, she risks somebody else coming and taking her spot on the podium. So she effectively needs to put the heaviest weight on the bar that she thinks that she can actually do in order to try and push everyone else to something that they cannot do.
So 2:11 for Brittany. This should solidify second. That one looks better to me. What do you think, Rory?
Better as well.
And she has done it. 527 kilos for Brittany Romas. And now we have Aislinn Otway to follow and potentially answer. Are they going to put in an attempt change?
So Aislinn has
come to
dropped
the
from
table.
230 to 213, but she does have one additional change.
They haven't come to the table, so it does look like she's going to attempt 213. And this will put her in third place and give her an additional $150 for this deadlift record. So this is for the deadlift record and for third place overall. So Aislinn currently has the squat record. She's gunning for the deadlift record and third place overall. So this would give her an additional $900 today. Sorry, I'll correct myself. $650 for this one. 213. Aislinn Otway.
Looks like she's taped up one of her fingers since the last attempt.
She has locked it out. It looks good.
Just waiting on one referee. 3 white lights. That is a
There
good
it is.
lift.
Aislinn Otway, your SBD Australia Cup third place lifter, Aislinn Otway. Well done to her. Second place, Brittany Romas. First place, Abby Wallace. Now we have 3 deadlifts left for the women today, and all 3 are going to be deadlift record attempts. Bethany will go first with 220.5, looking to chip Nicola Orr's 220 that she did on her second attempt, and this will give Bethany a 4 kilo total PB as well. And we'll put her into preliminary 5th place. Unfortunately, just a little bit too heavy there for Beth. She finishes today with a 524 total and a score of 93.991.
That leaves her currently in 7th place, though potentially Isabella can pull ahead of her.
So we'll see if Nicola's coach puts in a temp change. It doesn't look like there's one coming, so it looks like 225 will be the number that Nicola will go for, which will give her a 532.5 kilo total and put her into 5th place.
Who wants to see an Australian record? Bar is loaded for Nicola. Oh!
Here she comes, Nicola Orr. 4 red plates per side and the collars, 225 kilos on the bar. 6 kilos above what the record was before the session started today. She's fired up, she's ready. It's moving, she's fighting.
Cannot fault the effort on that one. She fought for a very long time.
What an effort there from Nicola. What a fight. What a valiant effort. Now, Isabella van Weissenberg.
All right, folks, it's the last deadlift of
Now we have Izzy attempting 225.
together not only for this Australian record attempt, but for all of our ladies. Bar is loaded for Isabella.
Now, is he looking to extend the Aussie deadlift record from 220 to 225 with the final lift of the Women's SBD Cup Australia 2025? What a fight.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing. 3 weight lifts, that is a good lift and a new Australian record for Isabella von Weissenberg. It was amazing.
Unbelievable effort there from Izzy. Going home with a 2.5 kilo PB after this many years of lifting. What an outstanding effort from her. And that concludes the women's session. First place, Abby Wallace with a score of 114.9. Second place, Brittany Romas with a score of 106.46. And third place, Aislinn Otway with a score of 103.73. That is your women's podium. So congratulations to the women on the podium and congratulations to all the women that we saw give it their all today on the platform. And now to the men's. Show doesn't stop. We've got Kana Chambara, 270. So we'll put him into fourth, assuming all the boys make their openers. Now, Kana's best deadlift is 316. He does like to take very big jumps. It will require a near perfect day to chip that total record. But with how close the men's is shaping up, 100 points may be enough to get you on the podium today.
I think so as well. Like after that deadlift, he is at 94.006%. He's jumping straight to 305, a 35 kilo jump.
Which would put him in forecasted second, so some interesting lifting to come, that's for sure. Leonardo Suchitra, 275. He boasts a best deadlift of 312.5. It's been a while since he's been at that mark. He will need all of those kilos to get him near the podium today. What do you think about that one, Rory?
That was very quick. All of his deadlifts are very quick, though. I find he drops off quite quickly. So that was excellent. I don't really have a good gauge for how much he has left, and he did not, on his squat in particular, the jump from his first to his second squat, he dropped off dramatically, and that was only 15 kilos. So I'd be a little bit worried of seeing something similar there.
Yeah, I think the thing to look out for with Leo is the thumbs. That seems to be the first thing to go is that hook grip strength. So keep an eye on that on his second and third attempts. Kevin Lai, 295. So we'll give him a score of 95.988.
Best previous deadlift, 312.5. Remember, that was down a weight class. Oh my goodness.
That looked like he didn't even exert any effort. His face didn't even change.
I don't know where you go from there. Do you jump 20 kilos to 315?
I mean, I think you have to. Josh Lanivia, 300. Now, he needs to make this to cement the squat and bench press records he has hit today. But I see that being no problem for Josh. Now, he is the current holder of the total record with 886. This would give him 851.5, which is certainly within range of hitting that total record. But it is worth noting the best ever total in the 120s in Australia is 888. So I think he'll have his eye on being the #1 Aussie 120 of all time. And then perhaps a little bit more on that third to get over the 900 kilo mark. Wow.
You could put a lot of weight on that bar, I think. That moved incredibly fast.
So how much would he need for the record on his second? 86.5, 35 kilos. That might be a bit much.
335 on his second. His best deadlift is 337.5, so I think that's probably a little bit bold.
So here's Tony Rymouth now. He is projected in first. He's had a good day so far.
So with some of these larger men, the deadlifts do slow down a little bit. The bar ends up quite far forward as a result, and so I think that's kind of what we saw there.
So that does give Tony a 906 total, which puts him in first place. Here comes Michael Rand, 302.5. Now, he did have a leg injury earlier in the competition. He's been having some hip issues leading into the meet. Seems to not have affected his choices for deadlift. He definitely looks a little bit more hesitant than he usually does.
He looked very uncomfortable doing that.
And unfortunately, it is no lift for not locking his knees at the top there. So he will have to retake that.
I would hope that he retakes that rather than going up. I think a lot of the day we've been saying, hey, look, you're kind of trading off position with the risk here. Given how squats have gone, given how bench has gone, I don't think he should make that risk. I think he should get the total, get the qualifying total, and move on.
Yeah, I think for Rand now, the key for him and his day is qualifying for national. So he needs to put up a total. There is no need for him to go any more, given he's essentially out of the hunt for the podium with how the rest of his day's gone, unfortunately. Now, Yanni Musella's 307.5. Unfortunately, that one fell out of his left hand.
That was actually a little bit slow off the floor as well. I wonder if he got a bit of a funny grip on it to begin with, and it put him out of position.
We'll see what happens there. A couple of hiccups early in the men's deadlift session. So two of our men still unable to get a total. Now, Yanni was looking like a real shot at the podium before that attempt, so we will see if they decide to take a jump up or whether they reattempt. Now, what would you do in this instance, Rory?
Do you know if he has a qualifying total for nationals? He does, doesn't he? Yeah. In that case, I would probably take the risk. I would jump up. I think there's really only two things that you're playing for here today. You're either playing for the qualifying total or you're playing for the podium.
And I think given he had a good start to his day with squats and bench, he's still in the hunt even with a reattempt, which is what they've decided to do. Here's Sam Butterworth, Australia's biggest deadlifter. There's 6 red plates aside, looking like an empty bar. That's fantastic deadlifting from Sam. Current best deadlift of 363. We'll see how much he needs to load up today. Leonardo Susitra, 290. Only a 15 kilo jump. And it looks like at this stage he's probably not actually aiming for the total record with the size of this jump.
Yeah, I think he had a bit of an average start to the day, particularly on the squats. The same 15 kilo jump took his opening squat, which was amazing, to his second squat, which was just hard, so hard he didn't even come out for a third squat. So I'm a little bit worried that his deadlift end might be a little bit nerfed as well, and it looks like he might just be getting the kilograms that he can get here.
$290.
This will put him ahead of the total that he got most recently, which was 715 at Worlds.
And it is worth noting the deadlift record is 305. So this puts him within striking distance of chipping that on his third. Now that did look like some work, but I think at this point, going for 305.5 is, there's nothing to lose if you miss. So I think that's probably the choice.
Yeah, I don't think 305.5 is going to be there, but I don't think there's any other number that makes sense either. It's I think it's either 305.5 or go home at this point.
And they're going for 306.
306 it is.
302.5 for Michael Rand. He's really gritting his teeth and coming out today after carrying this injury. So hats off to Michael.
So this will give him a 795 total. Is 795 the qualifying total by any chance?
It's a little bit less than that. But this would give him enough to be ranked high enough to get that first round invite.
2 white lights, that's good enough. That might be it for him today, I think.
Yeah, I don't expect him to come out for his third deadlift, but we will see. Up next, Karan Chambara, 35 kilo jump. Same size jump that Tony Reimer took from 1 to 2 squats.
Yeah, like we've been saying all day that Kana takes big jumps. His deadlift is very strong. His best deadlift in competition is 316 kilograms. He's clearly pacing for a deadlift PB today.
Yes, and most notably, this would give him a 780 total. The record is 792.5, so he would only need an extra 13 kilos on top of this.
was snappy.
That was fast. Now, the deadlift record is 327.5. Do you think 328 could be there?
I do think so. I just don't think that a 23 kilo jump is particularly wise at this point. If it was me, I would be looking at 720. That was sort of, 320, which would give him sort of a 795 total, a little bit short of the 800 kilo threshold, but might be enough to get him in the podium conversation.
So they are going for 325, which will give him that 800 and give him 100.9 points. That's much better from Yanni on the second. 307.5 locked in for him. Had a bit of a mishap on his opener, losing the bar out of his hands. But now that puts him into 4th place.
Where would you go from that? So 307, it was his opener. He's got it on his second. That gives him 96.466%. What would you be looking for here? Would you be looking to pull onto the podium, or would you be looking for something else?
Well, he's in 4th right now, so it's hard to say that he wouldn't be pulling into the podium. He will be one of the first lifters out, so I'd probably get him into 3rd, or if you can, 2nd, and then see what the other boys can do after you. Kevin Lai, 312.5 to be an equal deadlift PR. And this would give him a 17.5 kilo total PR for his first meet as a 93.
Also move him to 98% of the record total, 98.14% of the record total.
That was clinical. 2 white lights.
2 white lights. He did just get a red card from the left side. So red card is failure to lock out properly. So most likely his shoulders not back just on that right side. A little bit of a risk sometimes with hook grip.
So worth noting, Kevin is 15 kilos behind the deadlift record. The total record. He's now going for that total record on the 3rd attempt, which I love.
I love it as well. This is amazing.
Here comes Tony. He's opted to roll that one. This would give him 918.5, and it is a good lift. So he now moves back into 1st place with a score of 100.93.
This is very, very tight right now with 1st place Tony, 100.93. 2nd place Kana, 100.94. And 3rd place Kevin, 100.3. 0.6% span from 1st to 3rd.
So Josh Lanivia up now, 325. Deadlift record in the 120s is 363, which is Sam Butterworth, who is up next. Josh is the record holder in the squat, the bench, and the total. This will put him only 9.5 kilos below the total record. So I do expect we see it on the 3rd. Obviously assuming that this is a successful lift. A little bit soft at the top. I think that right hand was falling.
2 white lights, just a red on that far side. I'm thinking that's for that little softness that you saw at the top there. Now, I do believe that he did set a training PB of 340, so I wonder if he's going to be aiming for something sort of in that vicinity there.
I think what we will see is 888.5 to make him the #1 120 of all time. That's what I'm expecting.
Is that a 328.5? Approximately.
No, that would be
338.5.
This is the last lift of the 2nd round. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records.
Here comes Sam Butterworth, 350 kilos. 13 kilos below his best. And there is some room there.
Sort of notably slower than his opener, but still plenty of gas.
There's some room in that. I'm kind of probably expecting about 370.
Yeah, that's about what I would expect as well.
All right, we have our first record.
So we have a record coming up here. Leonardo Suchitra. As I mentioned, the record previously is 305. They're going for 305.5.
So currently at 96.59. This will move him to 98.66.
This will put him in 3rd place preliminary.
Leo makes this lift
Now, I do think that this is a bold jump for him. Like, the 290 was quite a bit of work, particularly at lockout. And we did see, particularly on his squats, he flattened off very, very quickly. So I think this is a bold choice, but I just don't think anything else matters at this point.
Yeah, I think this is the right choice because it's two birds with one stone. It's the deadlift record and it's the chance to get on the podium, at least initially.
More than 50% of lifters do miss their third deadlift. So putting yourself in a position where if everybody misses, you're in a good position is a really good strategy.
Yeah, it's always good when you're going early to put yourself in the position that you want and just see what the others can do rather than try to guess what they can do. Leonardo Susitra, 305.5 kilos.
Not today, unfortunately.
And that ends Leo's SBD Cup debut. 722.5. A little bit short of his best, but he went out there and he gave it his all. And here comes Tony Rymouth. He's currently in first place with 100.934. This would give him 101.758. And it would force some big deadlifts coming to beat him.
He's in first place. Put your hands together. Bar is loaded for Tony Rymouth.
Here comes Tony Rymouth. Just a 7.5 kilo jump.
Tony is also our only man who currently holds, or has broken today, a record total so far.
And he's done it.
I think he's done it. That was very good. 3 white lights. That is a new national total record at 926 kilograms, 101.758%.
So Tony is now at the top of the podium. And now we will see how many of these lifters can pick him off if they can. Now here comes Michael Rand, 322.5. Surprised he's coming out for this, to be honest.
He's limping onto the platform.
This will give him 8:15.
You know, I'm going to give him serious props for continuing to show up after that injury on his third squat. Like, I don't think anyone would have thought less of him for just, like, stopping and going home. But he came out for every deadlift, every bench press, not exactly with a smile on his face, but maximum effort still.
That one was great.
Okay.
So Rand finishes his day with 8:15. Definitely not what he wanted, but yeah, you can't fault the effort of him and the character that he showed today on the platform. Next up, Kana Chambara. This would give him 800 kilo total. I know this has been a goal for him for a long time, and this would put him into second place for now.
Currently 98.4. This will move him to 100.9.
So here comes Kana Chambara in his home gym, City Strength HQ.
This is for second place to the third position.
325 kilos.
800 kilos at 83.
Wow. Two white lights, and that is a good lift for Kana. Just one yellow card from the far side. That may be for dropping the bar. I didn't quite see, but that is a good lift.
So that would puts Kana into second place, with a couple of lifters potentially nipping at his heels. Next up, we have Kevin Lai, 330 kilos. This would put him into third place, but it would also break the 93 kilo total record in his first competition as a 93.
With 10 days notice.
What an outstanding effort from Kevin to even be here, let alone put up this kind of performance.
This is for third place.
Got it, come on.
330 for third place.
Yeah!
Oh my goodness.
we say?
2 white lights, that is enough. I think 1 red from this side just for shoulders not being properly back, but 2 white lights is enough. That is a new total record for Kevin.
What an outstanding day from Kevin Lai. Taking the total record in your first competition in a new weight class. Incredible work. Yanni Marcellus, 330. This would give him 855.
330 is correct. Bar is loaded for Yanni Marcellus.
This would give him 855, a total PB, but a little bit short of the total record.
This will also be a 5 kilo deadlift PB.
This is a big jump here, 300 kilos.
And this would move him into 4th overall.
No, not today.
Valiant effort today from Yanni. Finishes his day with 832.5. Next up, we have Josh Lanivia. This is 345 kilos, which will give him an 896.5 kilo total and 101.185%, which would put him into 2nd place ahead of Kana Chambara, ahead of Kevin Lai, trying to jump from 4th to 2nd.
He's decided third is not good enough, 2nd or bust.
We'd love to see it.
This is also the best total at 120 in Australia ever. Is that correct?
That is correct. The previous total was 9 years ago, set by Cameron McKenzie in your hometown, New Zealand.
Ah.
Josh Lanivia, 345 kilos. This would give him 896.5. Make him the best 120 in Australian history, but also give him 2nd place SBD Australia Cup 2025. Wow.
I think he's done it.
That was outstanding lifting from Josh Lanivia.
3 white lights, that is a good lift.
And the
340.
only lifter today to go 9 for 9 out of all of our lifters today, some of the best lifters in Australia, Josh Lanivia under the most pressure.
Walking away with a squat national record, a bench national record, and a total national record, 896.5, and the best total at 120 in Australian history.
And 2nd place at SBD Australia Cup 2025. What a performance from Josh Lanivia.
A fantastic event.
Now, we still have 1 deadlift to come. We have Sam Butterworth,
An Australian record, Sam Butterworth.
370 kilos. This would be 7 kilos above his current deadlift record. The last lift of the day. Unfortunately, slipping from his grip near lockout. What an effort from Sam. And that concludes SBD Australia Cup 2025. Your men's podium. Tony Rymeth in first with 101.758. 2nd place, Josh Lanivia, 101.185. And 3rd place, Kana Chambara with 100.946. That's our podium in the men's. Thank you everyone for watching today. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you for joining me today, Rory. We hope you guys enjoyed the show.
We're going to take 15 minutes.
We'll see you soon.
We're going to come back for the presentation, the trophy presentation, some announcements, some thank yous.
But we will have some interviews coming with our 2 winners. So Abby Wallace and Tony Rymeth will be interviewed
We're back in 5 minutes.
over at the media wall by JP, our MC. So stay tuned for those interviews, and thank you guys for joining us.
What an awesome session of lifting. That concludes SBD Cup. Your champions are Abby Wallace and Tony Reinmuth. And I'm delighted to be joined by Abby Wallace, the champion of the SBD Cup on the women's section. Abby.
Hello.
Fantastic day of lifting. I think one of the most historic performances ever in Australian record. What are the first thoughts that come to your mind?
I'm just really happy. My goals coming into this comp were make weight. As a 57, I had a big cut to do, so we've done that, and don't bomb, and I did those two things and came up with a few records, and yeah, just had a really fun time, had really high spirits in the back, so overall I'm just really happy with it.
Did the competition pan out exactly as you expected? I mean, it is very hard to predict where things are going to land when you're entering a new weight class and how you're going to respond to that. Did things pan out as you expected?
Yeah, like you said, like it's really hard to know kind of where your expectations are, so we actually had like tiers of goals coming into it. The first tier just being like make weight, don't bomb, which was the easiest one to accomplish. So got that. Second goal being win the competition, and we thought with like a 470 plus total, it would probably be quite achievable. So got that, and then the third one is get as close to my 63 personal best as possible, which was 502.5. So you know we were only 7.5 under that, which is pretty good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it panned out. Expectations, I mean, I didn't know if I was gonna feel terrible and like squat just an opener, or if everything was going to feel good. So I exceeded my expectations, I'd say.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, 495 at 57, I think gives you 116 IPF points. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, the number one performance in Australian history. Yeah, so a historic performance to see here today. What are the plans next for you? What's the next 12 months look like for you? Are you going to stay in the 57 kilo class? Can you share any of that?
It's a great question, and I don't have the answer. I'm just going to play it out over the next like month or two, kind of before invitations for nationals come out, and just see how I feel, because the cut was pretty strong and heavy, and you know it affects a lot of different parts of your life. So I'm just going to see like what my body weight does, and if it's kind of sustainable for me to stay at around like the 59 to 60 kilo mark and then cut in, or if my body weight just wants to jump back, and in that case I'll go back to 63. So I'm not going to commit to either one at the moment, but we're just going to see what comes.
Sounds like a very measured approach. Is there anyone in your corner that you'd like to thank, or anyone that supported you to get here? Your coach perhaps?
Definitely my coach, for sure. Jack's the best. He led the whole process from day one for me, like coming into powerlifting and going to Worlds and all of that, and then coming here, but also the cut, which was pretty extreme, and I was pretty needy as well, and so he really helped to lead the nutrition and the training and all the comp day handling, so that was awesome, as well as a dietitian named Zoe, Fueled by Zoe. She helped me with the acute weight cut as well, so that was awesome, and everything went straight to plan. And my team, Compound and Jim, Leviathan, everybody back home, you guys, you know, it wouldn't be a sport without a team, and so this is what makes it so much fun competing in something like this, is having great people around you.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your time, Abby Wallace. Congratulations again, and wishing you the best of luck for your future training.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we're also fortunate enough to be joined by Tony Reinmuth. We spoke to him earlier. He's gotten the job done, put together an awesome performance, Australian record. Tony, we did speak to you earlier. You broke the Australian record in the squat. You put together, I think, all of your bench presses and all of your deadlifts in the end. I think so. 9 out.
No, I missed my third bench.
Jumped and got it, and then jumped and got it anyway. So kind of in some sense, I call that like a moral, a moral 9 out of 9. Yes, exactly right. How are you feeling? What are your first thoughts?
Yeah, feeling really good. Everything went to plan. We managed to get enough numbers in that we stretched everyone else out to make it more difficult. They'd have to pull something really big. Even though I didn't get the final say, I still had the final say.
Now, you've been lifting for a very long time, unlike some of our other lifters, for example, Abby Wallace, she's on the up. Yep. You've been lifting for a very long time. It's very hard to find improvement, but you mentioned to me earlier that you're happy with today's result because it means progress to you.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
Yes, well, there was definitely more on the squat. I reckon I probably would have had a 415 in me today. Bench, I reckon I would have had a 220, which is really good considering I've had a shoulder issue for a long time. And a bit more heavy training on the deadlift, and we'll be back to about 330, 340.
Excellent. Now, this is your first time competing out here in City Strength. What have you thought about City Strength and the whole SBD Cup?
Very well put together. Very well put together. It's probably second best to team champs.
Okay, I'll take that as a compliment. Yes, very excellent competition here. Put on by SBD, of course, put on by City Strength, our major sponsor. Now, talk to us about what the next 12 months looks like. Are you planning to go to Nationals? Are you planning to go to Worlds?
Yeah, definitely planning to go to Nationals. I'd like to get back to a 960 total at Nationals and then start looking at 1,000 raw at Worlds. Put in a big effort there.
1,000 kilos will be monumental, the first Australian to do so, and we wish you the best of luck in that journey. And Tony, congratulations on your performance today.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. And so that concludes SBD Cup. Again, a reminder, in first place in the women's section, Abby Wallace. Second place, Brittany Romas. Third place, Aislinn Otway. And in the men's section, very hotly contested, Tony Rydemuth takes out first place. Second place goes to Josh Lanivia, 9 out of 9, that final deadlift. And third place, Kana Chambara. From all of us here at City Strength, it's been an awesome day of lifting, some of the highest quality of lifting that I've ever seen. So of course, big thanks goes to SBD City Strength for putting on this fantastic event to showcase some of the highest level lifters in Australia. We saw countless records across single lifts and totals. I mean, we'd have to do a count. It'd be upwards of 40 or 50. So from all of us here at City Strength, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next year at SBD Cup 3. If I can have everybody to the spectator area. If I can have everybody to the spectator area, please.
Hello? Okay, that's it. Welcome back to SBD Australia Cup 2025. The awards now. Thanks to JP for doing those interviews with Abby and Tony. Fantastic stuff. We're going to give out our podium.
We're going to get started with our trophy presentation in just a minute or two.
So we're going to do the trophy presentation in just a minute or two. Just waiting for all of our lifters to get back to the platform.
Make your way to the spectator gallery. Aislinn Otway. Can we have all the ladies that lifted onto the platform, please? All the ladies onto the platform. All of our ladies onto the back of the platform, please.
Now here come all the fantastic women athletes who we had today competing at 2025 SBD Australia Cup.
We need all of our girls onto the platform so we can do our presentation. Sophie, onto the platform, please.
Right, here they are. Here they come, just like herding sheep.
All
But today we had Ainsley Jones, Bethany Parker, Isabella von Weissenberg, Nicola Orr, Sophie Dobson, Hannah Altman, Aislinn Otway, Brittany Romus and Abby Wallace. That was the 9 women who we had competing today. Just a fantastic standard of lifting across the board. We saw multiple national records broken in squat, in bench, in deadlift, and of course in total. 4 of our women today toppling over the Australian record in the total. And just pushing the sport to new levels here in this country. So we will announce the top 3 and present them with their trophies in just a minute after we get some photos.
Waiting for Ainsley. Ainsley Jones.
Just waiting for Ainsley Jones, the last one to get to the group. There she is. And now for the trophy presentation.
All right, so SBD Cup 2 2025 concludes incredible session of lifting. I've got literally no idea how many records are broken. It was hotly contested all day, but in first place was always going to be one. But we're going to go through them firstly. In third place, with a total of
513 and a half kilos. Aussie squat record. And exceeding the total record. Aislinn Otway, 3rd place at SBD Australia Cup 2025. And in 2nd place, also in the 76 kilo weight class, last year's champion, total 527.0. Finishing with the bench press and total records, Brittany Romus. And our winner today in first place in the 57 kilo class in the squat, bench, deadlift and total records, Abby Wallace.
Abby Wallace.
So congratulations to our 3 podium winners today. And to all the women who competed today. Really appreciate you guys coming out. Appreciate everyone watching, of course. And of course, congratulations to everyone who took place on the platform today.
Okay, and Ben, let's swap.
And now to the men. Get all the men up there. Here are the 8 men who we had competing today at 2025 SBD Australia Cup. We had Michael Rand, Yanni Marcellus, Leonardo Suchitra, Sam Butterworth, Kevin Lai, Kana Chambara, Josh Lanivia, and Tony Rymuth. Similarly to the women, we had records broken in squat, in bench, in deadlift, and in total, with 4 of our 8 men breaking the total record in their weight classes. So we had the total record broken in the 83, 93, 120, and 120 plus classes today. So congratulations to all of these men for stepping foot on the platform today, giving their best efforts, and putting on a show for you guys and everyone here at City Strength HQ. Now we will do our trophy presentation for the men. 3rd place in the 83 kilo class, going home with only the total record. No individual lifts, a very well-rounded performance from Kana Chambara, with 100.946 points. Kana Chambara. He was also 3rd place last year, so now he has 2 trophies. Maybe next year he can get second or first. And in second place, Josh Lanivia with an Aussie record in the squat, bench press and total with 896.5 kilos and 101.185 points. Josh Lanivia, the only lifter today to go 9 for 9. Just a flawless performance today from Josh. Really put it together when it mattered and clutched up on all 3 third attempts. And in first place, the big fella, Tony Rymeth, the biggest squat ever in Australia, tested or untested, with 406 kilos. He also benched 200, delta 320, totaled 926 with a score of 101.758. Tony Rymeth is your 2025 SBD Cup Australia champion. So thank you everybody for tuning in today to the live stream. We appreciate your support. Just so you know, today's event was sponsored by City Strength. So if you need any powerlifting gear, sleeves, belts, shoes, wraps, t-shirts, soft suits, whatever it is, whatever you need, we have it at City Strength, citystrength.com.au. We will talk to you guys soon, and we will see you soon.